Got storms right now down into Des Moines County, the Burlington area. We're watching that very closely. Here's my concern, though. These aren't strong storms yet. And I'm going to check and see if we've got lightning, an uptick in lightning. Not much lightning in here either, which is it's good. But what we're seeing here is they're already showing signs, especially this one northwest of Danville and Pleasant Grove. See that green and red there? That's a sign of rotation. And so we've got rotation right now already near the Danville, New London area. And this is heading off to the northeast towards Mediapolis. And we'll be continuing to track off to the northeast here as we head throughout the afternoon into the evening here. And kind of in an eerily similar path as the one took back in 2024. So that is where the rotation that we're seeing with that is. It is there, but that storm has got to get going here a little bit longer. But as it continues to move north and east, it's going to be interacting with a much better environment as it does so. We do have, and look at this, we've got a tornado warning just moving into the viewing area here, almost into the KWQC viewing area, but right now we're in Johnson and Washington counties. We've got this tornado warning. Been watching this closely, and I can tell you folks that we've got some pretty serious rotation going on. Look at that right there, northwest of Washington. Northwest of Washington, west of Wellman, two pockets of rotation there, right there near the Westchester area. We've got strong circulation there. Also off to the south of Sigourney, where we're noticing some rotation there as well. So several areas of circulation, several areas of concern right now, and kind of what we thought would happen is evolving here, and we are getting fast developing storms in an environment that is conducive for tornadic activity, and we are seeing those rotations, pretty solid rotation here in several of these cells. So we're continuing to watch that and continuing to be concerned about that. So again, another thing too, folks, chime in if you got any questions. I want to be able to answer those for you and help you out here. So please comment if you do have any questions. Let me know. Okay, my friends had hail break their windows in their homes. And yeah, Ottumwa did get hit with this. This storm did move through the Ottumwa area. So yeah, definitely a concern. How long until it hits the Maquoketa area? Timing-wise, very rough on this, but right now the timing, I'm going to put some times of arrivals, at least on this. I'll go this particular cell because it is well developed and has, again, a tornado warning with it. So right now, forward speed not as fast as what it was just a few minutes ago, but we're about 40, 45. Just give it a little extra time here. We're going to go 50. All right, so let's get some times of arrivals with this particular storm that is rotating and continues off to the northeast here. So we're going to go here. Here we go. Okay, so Kelowna, that's Kelowna, Iowa, 413. We're into Iowa City about 4:30, West Liberty at 4:40, and then Tipton, Iowa near 5 o'clock. So that is on its current path and speed. That is where it's heading. But we're going to have to see what happens here. All this activity, you got another cell developing here pretty quickly towards just southwest of Muscatine. These aren't severe yet. We don't have hail cores with them. You can see the one that's tornado warned has a hail core. So we got to get some development out of these before we get to that point of where we're going to be concerned with a tornado. But what I am concerned with is the fact that even though we have very weak cells, it just shows you how strong the dynamics are, that we've got these pockets of rotation already developing. So that is the concern. And I've got First Alert meteorologist Kyle Keel is also here. And Kyle, we are everything's pretty much on track with what we thought would be. So we're timing wise. We said 4 o'clock would kind of be that time that we would be watching, and here we are at 4 o'clock, and we've already got these cells popping up, which are very interesting. We have to see what happens with these, but
yeah, these really need to be watched carefully because they're kind of in an environment on their own. They're well into the warm sector. That warm front was kind of hanging out down toward the Highway 34 corridor. Early this morning, I mean, you walked outside and it really didn't feel like a severe weather day, and it wasn't expected to. A lot of people were asking about the clouds and the rain keeping that severe threat down. But the deal was we were going to see that rain move out in the afternoon hours, and then any clearing that we saw would lead to the potential for increased severe weather, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But yeah, it is very interesting to see these storms right here in Des Moines County not really intensifying much very quickly like we would expect them. I mean, we have a lot of shear in place. We're looking at the velocity right now, and we do have a couple of areas of rotation that we are concerned about. right
Yep.
there near Denmark. That's in
Ooh,
Lee County,
oh,
Iowa.
sorry, I'll go back to-
And that's just entering Lee County, or I'm sorry, Des Moines County from Lee County. And looks like there might be a little weak rotation there northeast of Danville, west of Highway 61. So it's these storms that are kind of individual. When we go back to reflectivity, you'll see they're kind of like individual pockets that are going to take advantage of their own little environment there. A lot of shear in place, an area with higher instability, as well as we've had several hours with temperatures in the 60s and 70s, and those moist dew points as well. Kind of seeing an uptick in lightning there, as you had mentioned earlier, Kyle.
Yeah.
We weren't seeing much, but there are some signs of maybe a little more lightning with these, which could be a sign of strengthening. Certainly that supercell there to the northwest of Washington there, and right around Wellman, that certainly is showing some signs of rotation. Could drop a tornado really at any moment. Again, we've got a lot of shear there in the low levels of the atmosphere, so it's not going to take much to get this thing to move to the ground. It looks like that might have a decent hail core with it as well.
Yep.
And that's where we do have, I believe that was the potential for some baseball size hail.
Yeah, we were getting up there. Now, you could see, you were talking about rotation, folks. When we talk about these, what we call couplet on velocity, you got the green is winds is moving towards the radar. So you can really pick the counterclockwise rotation here. So you got the red away, and right there, when you get those brighter colors, that is where you really see that maxed out circulation. And there is a concern that this is going to be tornado. Oh wow, look at that hook echo.
I mean, that's a hook echo.
That is impressive.
You look up a textbook and you look up hook echo, that's exactly what you see.
Exactly.
So I do know that we have several storm chasers that are kind of on that storm, and they're certainly giving the update to the National Weather Service. The last I saw, that there was some lower level rotation. A lot of that rotation that we're seeing right there is in the mid level, since it's a little farther away from the radar site. But the storm spotter, actually a meteorologist at our sister station WGEM in Quincy, he was indicating that there was some rotation there in the lower levels with that decent inflow, which is what helps feed those storms. And again, this is out ahead of that main line that's developed just to the west from Sigourney up to the west of Iowa City. So it's taking advantage of all of the ingredients in the environment to produce that rotation.
Yeah, and here's something, folks. I got a path on this. This doesn't mean all these hometowns are going to be hit by this. I want to make that very clear. But we call this the cone of uncertainty, right? Because we're uncertain if it jogs just a little bit to the west, or to the north rather. It has a little bit more of a northerly component. If it goes a little bit further east, it kind of takes that in. And if this takes a little bit of an east turn, it's a possibility that would threaten at least the northern metro. So we're going to watch that closely. I don't want you to be afraid at this point if you're in the metro. I don't think this is at this time on on its current path and course. It doesn't look like it's going to threaten the metro, but we can't say for sure. But that is a very serious situation out into Johnson and Washington County. It looks like it is going to go just south of Iowa City, at least Iowa City proper. Might be into some of the southern portions of Iowa City, but Tipton, Wilton, Muscatine areas. I say here momentarily we're going to get a tornado warning here for Muscatine County, also into Cedar County. That is coming. I'm sure that they're working on that here probably in the next 5 minutes. We'll see that warning extended. I want to look out ahead of this because these storms here that are moving into Des Moines County certainly have to be watched because they're in that same environment, and especially where we see lightning. We don't have a ton of lightning, but we have this very interesting circulation on the west side of Burlington right now, and I'm very concerned about that because it has been consistent. And so let's take a look. I'm going to go skip through here and go to our Burlington camera, and you could see that. Yeah, look at that right there. And that, I think we do have a little bit of hail there, but
it looks like a hail core is building right around Middletown. So if you're in Middletown and you're on our Facebook Live here, chime in. Also let us know, if you have any questions. We would love to answer them. I want to reference the line of storms to the west of that supercell there in Iowa County, or I should say, is it Iowa County, Washington County?
Washington County,
yeah, Washington County. Those are primarily going to be the damaging wind threat. Again, we had mentioned that we were very concerned about the tornado threat as well as the damaging wind threat. Could be 60 to 70 miles per hour plus. That line of storms you see will be moving into an environment that is favorable for rotation, so we'll have to watch for perhaps some spin-up tornadoes along that line that comes in. But as Kyle was mentioning, it's these singular storms that we need to be watching for that rotation. Again, they're able to take advantage of all the rotation, all the spin in the atmosphere available.
Look at that right there.
And it looks like we've got a little more rotation there on the northern storm there, just south of Mediapolis. So that has really upticked there. west of 61 near Mediapolis over the last couple of scans here of the radars. So we're going to watch that one closely.
Yeah, that one's
really,
very
that
concerning.
one has really made an uptick. So if
Wow.
you're in Mediapolis, I'd say get to your shelter place right now because we could
Oh,
potentially
yeah,
have
look
a
at that.
developing tornado. Just to the west of 61 there, this storm is moving pretty rapidly to the northeast, probably about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So right around Dodgeville
yep.
Road. That's where we're seeing that rotation on the latest scan of First Alert Doppler radar. So I would say if you're in northern portions of Des Moines County, best to head to your shelter place just in case.
Yeah,
If this isn't
I
warned
totally
right
agree.
now, but I would have a feeling the National Weather Service is going to look at the next scan of Doppler radar and kind of make a decision there.
Absolutely, and this is what we call a first alert right here, folks. We're giving
Yeah.
you that first alert that there is a news scan. Folks, I'm telling you that is going to get tornado warned here. So this is your alert right now. If you're in the Mediapolis area, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. Heading off to the northeast, it'll be eventually heading off to the northeast towards New Boston. Aledo, this will be threatening Aledo. Might get close to the Aquaca area. So what we're going to do now, Kyle, is we're going to, because I have a strong feeling that based off of what we're seeing
Very
here,
soon.
we're going to get a tornado warning here momentarily. And so what we're going to do here, I think right now, is we'll transition. You'll kind of stay on with things. We're going to get ready to go on the air. We got an update there on that warning to the north. But we're going to get ready to do our wall-to-wall coverage on air because I think here, again, any second we're going to get that tornado warning. So, Kyle, I know you'll be kind of taking things here for the moment, and we'll go back to radar. And you can see, we're going to be watching this very, very closely, folks. So, Kyle, we're going to, if you're in that.
Within that. Is that good? All right, there we go. So I'm going to put a track on this here. And again, these are moving at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So again, if you're in Mediapolis, now's the time to take shelter. We'll put this out for the next 25 minutes or so. This will be in the Mediapolis area, 4 minutes at 4:15. Oakville, 4:25. Keithsburg, as we kind of get this to cross over the Mississippi River, right around 4:30. Ogle at 4:33, and Hazeldale School at 4:35. Again, this is the possibility of a tornado with that rotation that we're seeing. And the product that we're looking at right now, this is the velocity. So I'm going to take the track off here and show you that this is the winds inside the storm. So we look at this for any tornadic development, and it's where the reds and the greens meet together where we have that rotation. So the green are the winds that are going toward the radar site, which of course is in Davenport. So this is the way that the winds are blowing. The red is going away from the radar site. So that's where we do have a couplet forming right along Highway 61, really directly south of Mediapolis. So south side of Mediapolis, you need to be in your shelter place right now as we are watching that potential for a rotation. So it says audio is gone from the stream. Okay. All right, cool. So we're working on our audio issues. We do apologize for that. So we're good to go. So right now we're going to stick with this right now. Looks like we just got another tornado. No, I know. We got another tornado warning. I'm sorry, a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Henry, Jefferson, Keokuk, Louisa, and Washington County. So I am assuming that Eric and Kyle Dickens will be going wall to wall here very soon. But let's get a closer look at that warning right now. Let me get that off there, and we'll go over here to live radar, and you'll be able to see that large warning that is in effect here. This is the newest warning that was just issued. Again, that tornado is possible with the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And I want you to notice the length of this severe thunderstorm warning here. This is what's going to happen. Because these storms are moving at 50 to 60 miles per hour, you're going to get some big polygons. So if your area gets under a tornado warning, you need to take shelter very quickly because these storms will be moving at a very fast pace. So if you're in the Wayland area heading toward Conesville, I would say say head to your shelter place right now, as we are continuing to keep a very close eye on these storms. Looks like just south of Keokuk, we've got a rotating wall cloud. So again, the primary threat for the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be along this line of storms from Richland to Fairfield. And again, these are booking it off to the northeast. I'm trying to get a speed on that, and it looks like that is going to be moving off to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So I'll do a quick track on this here. And we just got an update on that tornado warning. Still is radar observes, or I should say radar indicated. So that means Doppler radar is indicating rotation. So we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on that storm. I'm trying to, let's see, we'll do this at 55 miles per hour and kind of put a track on this here as it continues to move off to the northeast. And there we go. And we'll kind of take this outside of the cone here. It'll be in Richland at 417, Fairfield 424, Washington 437, Ainsworth 444, Columbus Junction, heads up if you're watching, 455, and Grandview at 508. Again, this is for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as the potential for maybe a tornado or so. So right now we are going to continue to keep track of these storms. I believe, I'm not sure when, but I think we're going to go wall to wall here very soon. Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland currently on the air with his first alert forecast, and he is tracking that line of storms in that supercell here just to the north of Washington and south of Iowa City. So if you have anyone in Iowa City right now, let's see, that looks like we are going to keep that to the south. It looks like by Kelowna, Iowa, which let's go here to the north on Kelowna, Iowa here on radar. Right near there, it does seem that we do have reports of a tornado that did touch the ground, so we are going to see if that is going to change to an observed tornado, but apparently reports just to the east of Kelowna. There is a tornado, so there is a tornado right now in northern Washington County, right around the Kelowna area. So this is an observed tornado, and I believe that we are going to go wall to wall. So we're going to take a brief pause here, and we're going to join Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland on KWQC TV6 and begin our wall-to-wall coverage.
In a few minutes, but we'll go over to Sharon for now. Any more warnings come out that are tornadic, we'll certainly break back in.
Yes, we certainly will. Well, on a much lighter note, some penguins who are looking for love got a little bit of help from some kids.
Yeah, these penguins at the Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland use pebbles in their courtship rituals. The Royal Zoological Society says kids painted more than 1,000 rocks for them to use. Edinburgh Children's Hospital charity.
All right, everyone. Meteorologist Kyle Keel back here on the live stream. Not going wall to wall quite yet, as this storm is not in our viewing area. But as you just saw right here, we do have wrong button there. We do have an observed tornado here just to the east of Kelowna, west of Riverside. We have several spotters on this storm, and we do have a tornado that has been observed, and that is why we continue with the tornado warning here until 4:45 p.m. The hail core is just to the west of Riverside, and just to the southwest of Riverside is where that tornado has developed. So that tornado is likely right here in this region where we see that hook. I'm going to take the hail product off just so you can see what this storm looks like. And this is a classic supercellular thunderstorm that is continuing to track off to the northeast. So again, this is an observed tornado in Washington County heading off to the northeast. So what I want to do, since this is going to be heading in our viewing area, is I'll pause the radar and we'll put a track on this storm. Let me get the movement on that. And it looks like it's moving off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So the speeds of these storms have been fluctuating between 40 and 50 miles per hour. Again, moving off to the northeast. So I'll take it out about the next hour or so. And again, the deal with these supercells is they're expected to be long track. Whether or not they have a tornado with them remains to be seen, but the possibility is there where we now have the potential for a damaging tornado here just to the southwest of Riverside. So this is going to be in Hills right around 431, Lone Tree 436, West Liberty heads up 450, Moscow at 504, and 509 around the Tipton area. So again, we have an observed tornado here just to the southwest of Riverside. I am going to go ahead and get a look at the velocity here so we can kind of look at the winds inside the storm where we have that rotation. And again, certainly some looks a little muddled right here, but I mean, it's lining up very well with our observation of a tornado here on the southwest side of Riverside heading into the Riverside area. So this is a very dangerous storm here with an observed tornado in portions of Washington County, just east of Kelowna, right over Riverside right now. Again, we're kind of getting a muddled velocity scan here. I'm going to check the debris here to see if we can see any debris. And the good news is I don't see any debris. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at the potential for debris. So basically what this does is it tries to detect anything that is not weather related. So it's looking for things that aren't hail, aren't rain, snow, etc. And what we would see is a dropout of the correlation coefficient. I'm using big words here. But basically if we saw a blue or a white little ball, what we would call a debris ball, that is not what we're seeing here. So that's the good news as far as that goes. But again, unfortunately, we have had a report of a confirmed tornado here. There's going to be a new tornado warning coming out for the supercell just south of Iowa City and Riverside to follow up the ongoing tornado report. So it looks like another report of a tornado on the ground at the intersection of G36 and Riverside Road. So that just came from the National Weather Service. So again, they're going to continue with this tornado warning here for portions of Washington County. And this is likely going to be extended here into probably portions of northwestern Muscatine County, not including Muscatine, but this will likely include West Liberty and heading into Cedar County. And we are going to go on the air here for our wall-to-wall coverage with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland, meteorologist Kyle Dickens, and meteorologist Deanna Rodriguez. So momentarily we will be breaking for our coverage, but just a heads up out ahead of this, we're still tracking these showers, even a few thunderstorms here. Let me throw some lightning on. Probably hearing some thunder here just southwest of the Quad Cities metros. So areas like Illinois City, Edgington, maybe even Taylor Ridge, you're hearing it. Certainly seeing the skies darken to your west. These are not severe right now, but these do have the potential to become severe. Maybe some hail here with that rotation that we were seeing in portions of Des Moines County. Still seeing some weak rotation there just to the west of Highway 99, northwest of Mediapolis Road. This is heading up toward Oakville and Keithsburg, so just be aware of that. But what we're looking at now here is another potential of the strong winds here with this severe thunderstorm warning. But again, it's that tornado warning that we're most concerned about until 4:45 for portions of Johnson and Washington County, where we do have an observed tornado right around the Riverside area. And we do see that that threat is continuing here with that tornado warning here in portions of Washington County. 10 till... Oh, okay. So we're going to join the wall-to-wall coverage with our First Alert weather team.
Not going to bother us on the air.
We interrupt this program to bring you live severe weather coverage from the KWQC First Alert weather team.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland here in the First Alert Weather Center, along with meteorologist Kyle Dickens and Deanna Rodriguez. We are tracking storms right now. We're about to get a new tornado warning from this storm here, which will likely track that storm into portions of Muscatine and Cedar County. Otherwise, what we are dealing with, as we'll show you here, and you can see it on radar, we're just looking at a few areas of storms at this point. These that are moving into southeast Iowa, these have some hail now in Des Moines County, showing signs of rotation, at least weak rotation, and this band of storms is going to be heading right toward the Metro Quad cities. But again, our strongest supercell is this one that's just south of Iowa City. As a matter of fact, they're looking at some rotation due to a possible tornado in Iowa City, Riverside area, G36 and Riverside Road.
Correlation coefficient.
And yeah, we do have with the tornado south of Iowa City. Yep. Yeah, okay. Well, here's what we're going to show you. Again, this is perhaps a very strong tornado, and this is one of the threats going into today, the fact that we might have just a handful of tornadoes, but they would be very strong. Now, first of all, let me show you the hook on this storm here, and there it is. That's where we'd likely see the tornado now, just south of Hills, north of Riverside. And as we take a look at the debris signature, you'll see that we do have those bright colors next to the darker colors, again, south of Hills. So that would indicate that this tornado on the ground certainly could be doing some damage, and that is within that tornado warning. So back to the radar, and you'll notice that not only that, but also some large hail coming out of this storm. And as we back up a little bit, let me zoom out here. We'll get you the kind of the orientation of where this storm happens to be. And again, it's just to the west of Muscatine County. There you see New Liberty coming into play. And so as this storm continues to track to the northeast at probably, I think the last I saw was 45, but that was a while ago. It might even be a little bit faster than that now. This will work its way across Highway 6, across Interstate 80 toward the West Branch area as it heads toward Tipton into Cedar County and perhaps clips northwestern portions of Muscatine County. Any information from any of the spotters out there, Kyle?
We do have several reports of tornadic activity at this point, but I want to draw our attention here to what's happening here in the metro, because we're going to get to that storm that is tornado warned, that is a concern, but I'm noticing a very fast evolving storm with a, when we say hook echo, folks, this is what we mean right here. You see, we got two of them, south of New Boston, and that one that's just south of New Boston has a hail core with it now, which would lead me to believe that we have a developing circulation within that storm there, but also here towards Aledo. But right here, just southwest of the metro, this is not severe, nothing to be concerned with yet, but I'm looking at Skyview, and Skyview does look pretty ominous. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to talk about this storm in particular because meteorologist Kyle Keel and I have been watching this closely, and we continue to see an uptick in hail. So what we have here, folks, and not a good time. The tornado parameters are now, between now and 6 p.m. are maxed out in this corridor right here. We have two areas. Look at the circulation, or possible circulation, just southwest of Aledo and just southwest of Keithsburg. That's a hook echo there. And we do have, oh wow, look at that. Look at those rotations here just west of Keithsburg. Folks, I'm telling you right now, this is a developing tornado. This is your first alert if you're in Mercer County, Rock Island County, even up here, let's see, northeastern Louisa County, Muscatine County. Just had a report, too, that they have sounded the sirens in the Muscatine area. Not sure if they're seeing something out there, but we've got 1, 2, possibly 3 circulations right now, albeit broad, but they're circulations in an environment that is very conducive not only for tornadoes, but possibly strong tornadoes as well. So that's our concern. But right now, I'm telling you folks, here in Mercer County, you've got 3 separate areas we're watching. That continues to head off to the northeast. But again, back to that storm that we do have a tornado with right now, an observed tornado. Right now, that is getting ready to cross over into, it's right over top of the Hills area. Looks like that circulation may have slipped just a little bit to the south here, just north of 22. New tornado warning, Cedar, Johnson, and Muscatine counties, and they're continuing with that observed tag here. So observed tornado warning continues now. West Liberty, Atalissa, you are now under this Nichols. This is a tornado warning. You need to take your tornado precautions here right now. Eric, I'll get some information on this new warning.
Yeah, and let me go back to what you were showing before, because that tornadic storm is not quite in the viewing area yet, so I'll get to it in a second. But as you can see here, as we zoom out out. I'll just try and zoom out just a little bit here because I do want to show you these storms that we're talking about. And now we do have a severe thunderstorm. I'm sure this is probably going to be for a tornado possible. But again, right along the Mississippi, just in northern Rock Island County, probably around Lob Thunder. There's a little hook there. There's that next hook approaching Aledo. There's that other hook there that's approaching Keysburg. And again, there's our new tornado warning. First of all, let's see what we can get in terms of the information on this new tornado warning as far as the time is concerned. Let me get that back into the box here.
Here in the metro, the sirens will be going off momentarily.
Okay, Cedar, Johnson, Muscatine, that warning goes till 5:15. Along with that, there's hail possible of 1.5 inches in diameter. And as we back out again with this new severe thunderstorm warning, what I'm going to try and do here, get back home, and that way we can kind of take a look at the extent of the severe thunderstorm warning. And again, that's for this whole line, which is just south of the viewing area, right up the spine of the Mississippi until it gets into western portions of Mercer County, Rock Island County, and it will be affecting Scott County. So again, let me do a query on this and get this back to where we can get the information right there. Yeah, because I want to, this might be a tornado possible warning simply because of the fact that we would be dealing with these spins, these hooks that I told you about. Yeah, tornado possible for this whole warning. Des Moines, Mercer, Rock Island, Scott County. This warning goes till 5:30. Wind speed 60 miles per hour. That's probably close to the storm speed as well. At least 50 miles per hour to the north and east. And again, with 1 inch hail, possible tornadoes along this storm. And we've got more info from Kyle right now.
I'm going to do one thing. We're going to look at this storm here, this new tornado warning. This is the path right now. And then we're going to jump to this Keysburg storm that they are now noting the circulation. Nichols 430, West Liberty 437, 445, Rochester, Wilton at 453. This will be impacting you. Bennett at 450. Top of the hour, this will be moving into Durant. You folks in that area, this is a confirmed tornado. Tornado is on the ground, and I've been watching some video of it from storm chasers and storm spotters in that area, and it has been pretty impressive, at least coming close to the ground and at times touching the ground, but very strong circulation. So that's this one that we're concerned with, heading right towards West Liberty. If you're in West Liberty, now is your time to take shelter. I want to drop south here to this warning near the Keysburg area. A couple areas, one right over Aledo too. So Keysburg and Aledo, we've got several pockets of circulation right over top of Aledo right now. So if you're in Aledo, you are certainly seeing some gusty winds, but maybe if you look out, you'd probably be seeing a little bit of rotation within the cloud base there. But also this storm between Keithsburg and New Boston, they are concerned with that as well. Weather Service is saying that they're noting that potential circulation within that. I want to drop back south here to Burlington because the reason this warning is so expansive is because there's several supercells, kind of semi-discrete supercells, where they are kind of on their own. And what's happening is you're getting rotation, but just southwest of Burlington too, we're watching rotation there. So very interesting situation here with all these storms that we have. I'll take a wide view once again, Eric, and look at, kind of show you here what we've got cooking because this has all evolved very fast. In the metro, we do have a storm that's moving in. It's not severe. I'm not too concerned with that at this time. There's two hook echoes and two what are developing to be supercells here into Mercer County, and we're watching that over Aledo, just east of Keysburg as well. Also down here towards Burlington, we're watching that storm as well. This whole area is warned under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag, and what they're most likely waiting for is once we get a little bit tighter rotation on that, they're going to put out that tornado warning. But now, again, the new tornado warning that does take it into our viewing area, Muscatine County, a good chunk of Cedar County here too. That is a confirmed tornado. Cedar, Johnson, Muscatine County, you are under a tornado warning until 5:15 with a confirmed tornado.
All right, we're going to go down the line from north to south. Let me get this cleared off for you so we can get a little bit closer into the area. We'll zoom in and get to that top line there. First of all, let me get the warning information off. There we go. Okay, there you can see how these storms are moving. These ones more to the north and east at a pretty good clip. So as we take you into these, what we'll do is go kind of storm by storm and break down the rotation as we can also use this tool to see those little hook echoes that we were showing you before, where that rotation is actually going to be. So as we get a little bit of a look here, at this point, not seeing too much rotation on that particular storm. Again, kind of losing some resolution here, but as we go a little bit farther south and a little bit closer in, here we go. We've got that next storm that was around Aledo, and there you can see it's got a little bit of rotation here heading up toward the preemption area. So if you're west of Highway 67, north of 17, you see that where the green and the red meet, that's the rotation that we're watching from these storms. And we do have that next one down toward Keithsburg. Again, not too prominent now, but again, as Kyle was saying, if you're in Keithsburg, you'd had to want to take shelter a little while ago because of the fact that that's where the rotation was coming on in. So we'll get you back to what you're more familiar with, the radar look right now, and we'll get this toward the rest of the QCA as we widen things out and show you where these storms are. There are the storm reports already. I think those might be old ones, actually from the rain this morning. So let's get into radar. If button will let me do that. And there you can see we've got this line of storms. Tornado possible tag with this yellow box. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. And the reason is because these thunderstorms are rotating. There is the rotation that we've seen within these. And as we get a little bit closer, wrong thing there, we're going to zoom in and show you that whole line. There we go. And in the viewing area, anywhere from Burlington, getting some heavy rain right now, and that possible rotation south of New Boston toward Keithsburg, where there's actually a little bit of hail showing up. Also some hail right around Aledo, right there in the heart of Mercer County. That light blue indicates that we've got hail with that storm. These storms now getting into the metro, the western portion of Davenport. And again, behind these more individual storms that seem to be congealing a little bit right now into a line, we've got that line behind that one supercell, which is really dumping some hail and heading into portions of western Cedar County. But there you see that line, and when that gets through, it's going to be pushing out some strong winds. Could get not only some strong winds on the leading edge of that storm, 60-mile-per-hour winds or so, we could also be looking at some spin-up tornadoes along that. So the atmosphere is just kind of primed for this today. We've been waiting for this to happen, and here it is. Our window of about 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock seems to be hitting, and there, as you see, the Metro Quad cities, where much of our population happens to be, the storms are approaching. So first thing we'll see will be the heavy rain, but also we'll see if that hail core hangs on and more form behind it on the kind of back end of some of those cells that are coming together right now. But a wind threat, can't rule out a tornado because we have noticed a little bit of circulation with some of these storms. It seems to be weakening, but it's still there, and that's why this very broad severe thunderstorm warning that goes till 5:30 from portions of Scott and Rock Island County down through Mercer County, Henderson, Warren County, and also across the river back into Iowa, portions of Louisa County and Des Moines County. That's why this one goes till 5:30, and again, it is tagged tornado possible. Kyle?
Yeah, let's take a little bit closer look at this storm here into Mercer County, because this is the one that we've been concerned with. But the tall tale sign that we got to focus in on this is hail develops where there's, we got the updraft and downdraft, but it's a sign that we've got a pretty strong updraft. And just southwest of Preemption and over top of Aledo at this point, we are seeing some considerable hail. Let's take a look here. We're up to quarter size, so severe, but we're also noticing that particular, wow, look at that circulation there. So what we have here is the circulation, the rotation or wind direction within the storm. And now that we're in Mercer County, it looks a little bit different than the storm that we're looking at in Cedar County, which we'll get to in a minute, because we're closer to the surface. So this gets we get a much better look here. But what we have is just west of Matherville, what I would say is a developing circulation, maybe a developing tornado. We've got winds moving towards the radar. Radar's up here. You can see the beam sweeping around here. Red is away. So you kind of do this here, and you can get that, kind of see how that counterclockwise rotation is happening here. And so that's what we look at right there. So Matherville, Preemption, off towards Orion. Here's Orion right here, I-280. I-74, that is going to be impacting you here momentarily. I'm very concerned about that. Another area, too, that has to be watched is just southeast of New Boston here, but most notably right now is what's happening here just southwest of Preemption. Let's put a track on that because, again, your severe thunderstorm warning with what's tagged tornado possible. So still something you want to take very seriously, folks, especially as this continues off to the northeast. So I'm going to take this off to the northeast here, and we'll take that box off and talk about where this is heading and who's going to be impacted by this. So Preemption 447, you've got a few minutes. You need to take shelter now. Sherrard 452, Oak Glen Nursing Home at 5 o'clock. Coal Valley about 5 o'clock too if this continues on the same path and course. Kelowna, it's going to be into the Kelowna area about 5:12, and then Cleveland, Joslin area here about 5:15. So that is a area. We got two areas, New Boston too. We'll go to that one now. These two areas are areas I'm concerned with specifically for that potential for a tornado. So we're going to be watching that here. Look at just east of New Boston here. Going to kind of be kind of on the heels of this one right here. So those two pockets of rotation in Mercer County are being watched. Looking off here to now entering Cedar County. This is West Liberty. This is the storm that we have that what was tagged a confirmed tornado, and you can see we still are carrying that observed tornado tag. I'm going to take the hail core off. We know that there's hail, but here is where our tornado is. West Liberty. This is about to cross Route 6. Here's I-80. So one thing that I'm going to ask our booth to do is there is a camera, a traffic camera, somewhere here into Cedar County. I think it's just west of, I think it's the Atalissa exit. So from Atalissa, it's gonna miss Atalissa. Look at how far north is tucked up, Eric. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But West Branch, you're getting the hail and heavy rain right now. But right here, crossing over Route 6 is where that tornado is at this time. And you can see it's getting ready to the Downey area, Centerdale. Those might be some townships or small communities. That's heading towards you, but here's the big problem. It's heading towards I-80. So anybody that's traveling on I-80, this will be crossing, even if it's not on the ground, it's very close to being on the ground, and it's been that way for a while. That is going to threaten I-80. We'll cross I-80 here momentarily.
All right, let me take a look then at this storm, and we'll kind of track this one out. Again, this is a little bit wider view of what Kyle was just showing. Right there, crossing the border into, boy, it's kind of right on that triple intersection there. Northwestern Muscatine, southwestern Cedar, and very eastern Johnson County. And with this storm moving probably at about 50 miles per hour, so oops, let me back up here so I can get you that radar. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, let's start over again. We'll get to the radar first, and then we'll get you back to where we can zoom in on that particular storm, because I do want to do a track on that, because now that it's getting into the TV6 viewing area, it's something that I want to make sure that we are talking about a little bit more close up. We'll zoom in, and then we'll add that track for you. Yeah, wrong one. There we go. As you can see, we're dealing with some new technology here, but as we can't get our zoom to work, let's see if that doesn't. For some reason, it's not working. Let me clear this off. You got anything to say, Kyle, while I fix this up?
Just Weather Service talking to them. They're watching the storm in Preemption as well. Very concerned about that. What we talked about is that concern that there's some hail there, but also that there is what they call a deep mesocyclone with that. So one thing that we can do here that's really cool with our radar is we can go in 3D. So we know where this is at, and we can kind of look at, okay, how does this look from a different perspective? And here's the one thing to note is we're climbing here. Here's 50,000 feet. We're climbing almost to, in this particular storm here, it's climbing pretty fast. So we can even tilt it more and get a better perspective of that. So we're about to 40,000 feet right now on this thunderstorm top. And the higher they go, the better chance they have to interact with some of those better ingredients. The dynamics are what are pretty impressive here today. And those dynamics include some spin within the atmosphere. We call that shear, and we got plenty of it. So we're concerned with that. But I can tell you here, this is a big time concern for me here with this. We continue to see an uptick here on the hail with this. It's heading right towards Preemption. So putting a track on this, we're going to continue off to the northeast here, about 45 to 50 miles an hour. And here we go, folks. Preemption, Sherrard, again, some of these communities here. Carbon Cliff is another one that this is heading towards you. Take shelter now. Yeah, it's upticking again. So we're probably up to, let's take a look here. This hail core continues to increase. And so that is a sign that we've got certainly a strengthening storm here No doubt about that. So we're going to get in here. Ridge Road, just northwest of Matherville, is exactly where this is at. And ping pong ball-sized hail now. That's a small area there, but that is the maximum hail we could see. It's just north of Ridge Road. And folks, here's the thing. These storms are booking it off to the northeast about 45 to 55 miles an hour. So when we call off these roads here, we're going to probably displace it just a little bit because of how fast these are moving. They're moving highway speeds. So preemption, it's closing in on you. And let's take a look at that circulation one more time before we take it back to Eric here. And it's there. I wouldn't say it looks a little weaker. And right now I do think it's the hail that is going to be a concern, but still some circulation there heading towards preemption. We're going to continue to watch that as it crosses into Rock Island County here momentarily.
All right, and as we put a track on that storm that's just getting into southwestern Cedar County, there you can see the towns ahead of it. Rochester 450, Tipton 457, on the way to Loudon by about 510. Grand Mound, this would be central Clinton County, by about 524.
Tornado on the ground near West Branch.
Okay, well, that's what we've got here. So we've got a traffic cam. Let's take a look at this traffic cam near West Branch, where we now have a tornado reported on the ground. If we can put that up, there we go. And yeah, obviously these cameras don't move and they're never really pointed where we want them because they're pointed down, but you can see the extent of the rainfall with this storm, and that's a problem. If it gets to be blinding rain, then you're not going to be able to see where this tornado is. So let's take a quicker look then back on the maps. We'll zoom in on this and we'll get you a little bit closer look at where we are dealing with on this storm. And I keep pushing the wrong button here. There we go. All right, let's get up to this storm as we want to track exactly where that tornado is. And it's along that hail core that stands out in blue. You can really see that. So as we get this down into a usable portion of the screen here, there we go. South of West Branch, and there's I-80 where we're just seeing the traffic camera. I'm surprised we hadn't seen any hail from that, but again, as we see where that hail is, it kind of tells you pretty close to where the tornado would happen to be. And there's that hook just south of I-80, just north of the county line. And as we get into these areas, these are going to be rural areas, but nonetheless, we'll be able to get you an idea of where these streets are. But just like Kyle said, these are moving very fast. So in terms of what streets we are calling out here, problem is these might be going past the streets that we might name here simply because of the fact that these storms are moving so fast. Cedar County, we're not going to get any streets here. So again, south of I-80, Centerdale, and points east, because it's not technically our viewing area, but when we do get these storms in our viewing area, we can get down to street level. Kyle's got some more.
Yeah, I just want to look at the metro. Here's Skyview right now, and you can see what we've got. We've got a storm that has fired up here in the northwest side of town. This is northwest Davenport, and it's not. We're not worried about a tornado at this point, but just something to note here is that there's a little bit of a lowering with that. Again, we're not to the point where we need to say, get into your tornado shelters now, but that deserves to be watched very closely, and I'm going to continue to watch that because we actually have a couple storms. We have that one to the north. Look at this. We get that little bit of a break, and then you go point it to the south, and here we go with another storm. That's that one that's in Rock Island County. That whole stretch is warned right now for a severe thunderstorm warning, marked tornado possible. So not a surprise to see that, and we're going to continue to watch that very closely. My concern continues to be here in the preemption area. We've got a lot of lightning with this, and that's the tall tale sign. The lightning is high. We've got the hail core there, and this thing is trying to turn and circulate. And so we've got some updates on warnings. We'll take a look at that here in a minute here, but there certainly is still a circulation with this, albeit broad. But preemption off to the northeast here, it's now crossing right over 67. That's where the hail is, and also maybe some damaging winds, and possibility is there for some circulation. But it's heading off to the northeast, might just clip Orion. Orion, you're back here, but that's going to continue on to the northeast here. It's going to go south of the metro proper, but I am concerned with this. We're going to get back into the metro here, and just watching some of these storms that have fired up up pretty quickly. Here's that cell, and there already is, look at that, a little bit of hook there and a little bit of a hail core. So all these storms are doing that. That's not much of a surprise. What is a surprise, though, is how fast these are congealing into a line. And once they do congeal into a line, that threat then kind of transitions more to a damaging wind threat. With embedded tornadoes, we kind of lose that strong tornado potential. But watching that here, crossing into Rock Island County, very serious situation there here in the metro too, but also what's happening right now in Cedar County, southwestern Cedar County, with that confirmed tornado.
Yeah, and we did have, speaking about that tornado, as it was moving through Muscatine County north into Cedar County, there were reports of some debris on that. We take a look now at the top end of this line that these severe thunderstorm warning tag tornado possible out till I believe 5:30 is doing. And right now we've got this storm that's now developing right toward the Mississippi River into eastern Whiteside County, and you can see that it's actually moving pretty close, or pretty quickly, because we just in the last plane or the last sweep there didn't have much going on south and east of Clinton, but now that one is getting a little bit stronger, ready to cross Highway 30. And then as we go work our way down that line, we're getting some scattered development in southern Clinton County along and north of Highway 30 around DeWitt. They don't look like much now, but the nature of these storms is that they're blossoming pretty quickly when they do. And as we move a little bit farther down the line, you can see here's the metro and that storm that Kyle was talking about. Boy, that's right over the radar site. So we're getting that little blanking there. Might even be a little bit of a hook there because we did have a little bit of hail with that one. But as we pan now down to the south, boy, if you're in Coal Valley, obviously that stands out because of the name of the city there. But heavy rain here and that little spin right around Preemption now. Let's check that out really quickly because I do want to know if we're seeing anything there that might be rotating. And it kind of had that signature on radar, but I'm not seeing anything too prominent there. So we'll go back to the radar. And as far as the hail core, which is right there, moving into Preemption, this is pretty, well, you know, I kind of want to query this and find out what kind of hail we're looking at, but I'm sure it's rather large. And golf ball size hail, yeah, possible through Preemption. So if you're in the Preemption area, if you are in Preemption proper, it's probably too late to do anything about it. But if you're in portions of southeastern Rock Island County, north of Preemption, and you don't have the car in the garage, you better get that in there quickly because we've got that hail core that's moving through into the area right now. And again, as you can see, that hail core is pretty substantial at this point. We'll drop down this line again and find out what's going on toward Aledo. You can see that, again, as Kyle was mentioning, we've got that those thunderstorms, those individual cells kind of merging right now. So this is where we're going to get some strong winds heading through eastern Mercer County. There's Highway 67 right there as we go from Aledo over to Alexis. So winds will likely pick up in those areas. And as we drop a little bit farther south, down into Henderson and Warren County, Henderson County now getting kind of the lion's share of the southern extent of this line. And now there's some more hail trying to form just to the east of Lomax in southern Henderson County. And if we take a look at what we might be seeing here in terms of any rotation, yeah, certainly. Wow, look at that. I'm going to get in close to that because, again, we've got air moving toward the radar site in green, away from the radar site in the Quad Cities in red. So that sets up a circulation which is actually that far away from the radar site. That is a pretty broad circulation. So let's zoom into that. And I want to see some of the towns and areas that we have in there. And for some reason, my zoom is not doing, there we go, finally. Okay, now the zoom's working. All right, so if you're in Stronghurst, Decorah, or I'll get a little bit farther east to where this is actually moving, and you can see that some of the streets here along 300 North Gun Club Road, that's where this circulation is approaching. I'm just at the top of the circulation here, County Highway 10, I believe that is, and this is moving to the north and east. It's within our severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado possible tag. So this will be one that we look at a little bit more closely. I'll come out a bit so you can see what we're dealing with in terms of the tracking as it moves north towards Stronghurst and well west of Point Pleasant. But again, right up Highway, let me see what that is, 116. Now we've got a new circulation here inside our warning that had the tornado possible tag. So if you're in Stronghurst or those areas, southern Henderson County, this is your first alert to take shelter now. Kyle?
Yeah, okay, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground right now, 3 miles east of West Branch. This is near I-80 in Cedar County. That's from the Cedar County Sheriff's Office right now. They're reporting that. Real quick here, I want to mention this, and we're going to go back to that, but the Storm Prediction Center, who puts out the watches, they just put out this discussion. Look at where this is centered. This is where all those storms are about to enter. It's a zone from Mercer County all the way up to Dubuque, east towards Bureau County, west towards Iowa City, where they're saying, and I'm going to quote their discussion here, robust Boeing segment is developed near a surface low. An enhanced corridor of tornado potential will exist across far eastern Iowa to far northwest Illinois over the next couple of hours. So we are kind of at the apex of that threat, so not good timing as this continues to track off to into this zone. So we're going to be watching this very closely. Now's not a time, folks, to turn your back on these because they are very significant. Let's dive right into where we had this report. It was 3 miles east of West Branch, which puts it right where we have it. Oh, wow. Rochester, shelter now. Tipton, up towards Tipton, here we go. Route 38, there is the tornado. It just crossed I-80. This is a confirmed tornado, confirmed by sheriffs. Cedar County Sheriff's deputies are confirming that. Folks, this is a very dangerous and life-threatening situation as we have a confirmed tornado on the ground. And we're going to take a look at, see if we've got debris. And boy, we do. We got a debris signature there just west of Rochester. So right there, it looks a little muddled, a little hard to tell. But right where that circulation is where we have this dropout, which is what would show to us that we've got some debris being lofted into the air. Nonetheless, we have a continued circulation here. Rochester, it is heading right towards you. Folks in Cedar County, continue with your tornado precautions. It is now north of I-80, heading right towards Rochester. Bennett is going to be another community, another town that's going to be impacted by this. You are on the edge of that tornado warning, but Bennett, you need to take shelter now. Tipton, continue with your tornado precautions because what we have noticed with this is this thing has been turning and it continues to turn a little bit more to the north. There's an update. Oh, it did just that. It continues to slide a little bit more to the north. I think Tipton, you're going to be fine. I think it's going to be just to your south. Continue with your precautions just to be safe. But between Rochester and Tipton, here's Highway 38 that is getting ready to cross Highway 38 and eventually continues off to the northeast. We'll put a track on it. Again, folks, if you're just joining us here, it is coming up to 5 o'clock here momentarily, and we'll welcome in all of our folks watching us at 5. But we continue with reports of a confirmed tornado right now. It was confirmed just a few moments ago east of the West Branch area here along I-80. It crossed I-80, continues on to the northeast. Bennett Community School about 5:09. So you don't have a lot of time in Bennett. Bennett, 5:10. Loudon Family Medical Center here, 5:18. Loudon at 5:20-ish on that. Again, give yourself a few extra minutes. Wheatland, 5:23, and then Wheatland Manor, same time, so about 5:20. You could be expecting that tornadic storm. We have a confirmed tornado with that. Might be a little displaced here. Having a hard time with this data. It's very muddled, which not always a good thing because could either be hail interfering with that, or we could also. Okay, so we'll get to an update here from them, but we continue to see that rotation here again. Bennett, that's heading right towards you. I want to put. Kind of back out here and see if we've got anything else with these other storms. So again, Cedar County, you need to take shelter right now anywhere in Cedar County. And then eventually here, we're going to be watching kind of downstream Scott County and also into Jackson County here within the next 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, let me take a look again at Henderson and Warren County. Again, this is our circulation. We'll do a little deep dive into this one, but this is now into extreme southeastern Henderson County, and it's kind of skirting the line of the severe thunderstorm warning. So it's going to be very close to Roseville here in the next half hour or so. And as we do a little bit of a zoom in, and once again I hit the wrong button, let's get this back to where I was on radar. Here we go. We'll do a little bit of a zoom in because I do want to get onto that storm and show you the radar returns, and especially in terms of possibly a hook echo, if we can get to that. All right, let me back out a little bit and we'll take a look and see if we can see any kind of hook. Doesn't look too prominent there, but you can kind of see it's trying to make something moving to the east, northeast right now, and that little tail that's trying to form there could indicate that there's enough circulation that we need to be concerned about. But we'll track this now and get a little bit farther out as we do a little track, and I'm assuming these storms, like most of them, are moving at about 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to go out once again and reposition this so we can do a cone and give you an idea of where we are lining up here. There we go, with this Henderson and Warren County storm, and it's just getting into Henderson County right now. So let me see, I can do a cone here, and again, with this storm moving into the northeast at about 40 miles per hour or so, we'll take this one out, and boy, it gets pretty close to Galesburg in that time. But at 40 miles per hour, Raritan, Roseville, about 513, Monmouth, 527, and the northward movement of that is being negated a little bit by the eastward movement, so I'm kind of comfortable seeing that at about 40 miles per hour. Monmouth, 527, Galesburg, 544. Again, it's a storm that has been kind of showing some watting of circulation, a little bit of circulation, and so the next stop would be really central Warren County here in Illinois, obviously, so keep that in mind as we take a look then at what's happening a little bit farther west. Let's get out of what we've got going on here, and I want to make sure I get the right button, and then we can kind of back out a little bit and get back to these storms that are not only around the Quad Cities, and the Weather Service looking at west central Illinois storms here and these eastern Iowa storms here. So kind of two areas of concern at this point as we head toward 5 o'clock. We'll say right now you're watching live storm coverage on KWQC TV 6 here in Davenport, Iowa, and this is kind of the first hour of what could be another 2 to 3 hours of coverage here, because again, we're seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings continue to come out. There's a new one that I can take a look at. Also, the fact that these storms have that tornadic potential, and that's something that we were leading up to for the last few days with these storms. So as we kind of center in on this new warning, we'll take a look and get my button to change, and it's this severe thunderstorm warning right here, which does include a few new counties in Iowa. Jackson County off to the south there, also portions of Clinton County, Scott County, Muscatine County, all of Cedar County. And as we take a look at the time for this one, it's probably going to be another tornado possible. I've got to move this so I can get the tornado warning out of frame here, because that's what takes priority when they see these. Here we go. Cedar, Clinton, Muscatine, Scott County till 6 p.m. So another hour for this one. Again, tornado possible with these storms that have showed signs of rotation, winds up to 60 miles per hour, and probably a forward speed somewhere around 50 plus miles per hour on these. Also, if we get hail, we could be looking at about an inch in diameter. And as we clean things up here and get back to the radar itself, we'll just move this down and show you the line of storms where it's at right now. And there you see right south of Tipton, boy, we've got some large hail possibly right there, and we'll get into that as we clean off this map. I got to get a little farther away from my box there. All right, let's get to the hail, because I do want to kind of see how this hail is shaping up. And as far as the size of the hail, and again, just south of Tipton there. So if you're in Bennett, Clarence, I mean, somewhere between there, right where the edge of the tornado warning is, you have time, maybe just a minute, because these things are moving fast. I wouldn't even worry about it now to get cars in the garage. You really don't have time. But as we take a look at the size of this hail, right here, we're up to about, probably, well, this is probably a little less than golf ball size, maybe $half size. And for some reason, it's not letting me read this. There we go, quarter size hail. So yeah, that's minimum for about the minimum for the severe thunderstorm warning, a little bit higher than that. But again, that's large enough hail to be worried about. Tipton, you're also getting lightning, and that's another thing we have to worry about when these storms come through. Lots of lightning with these, not only the torrential rain, hail, lightning, but also that chance for some rotation. And we are tracking this storm here because, again, the possible tornado that we have had a history of. So it's a confirmed tornado a while back. And as we quickly take a look at the hook, if it's still in there before we get back to Kyle, it's going to come up here in just a second, starting to weaken a little bit, but certainly south and east of Tipton on the way to Bennett. That hook is still Not as prominent as it was, but it is still there. Kyle?
Yeah, real quick, I want to show this. This is in the metro. Look at this nice rainbow that we're noticing here with that storm that moved through. So caught that on Skyview. Wanted to show that. As I was moving Skyview, a couple things I noticed here, and we'll stay on this shot, and I'll show you as we turn around here. This storm in particular, this is just to the north. This is the one that was on the northern side of the metro. Very fast climbing storm, and it is in a very favorable environment. So as that crosses the river, we need to watch that very closely, and we'll track that momentarily. I'm going to swing the camera back down to the south, and you can see here as we move that camera up, and you can see here's to the south, here's towards those storms that we're watching that are severe warned at this point with that tornado possible tag with it. And so we continue to watch that very closely. I want to do something here too and kind of look at things on a broad view. So this is the entire viewing area. All that maroon is the tornado watch. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings. A good chunk of the viewing area are now under severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are for 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, but they're all tagged with a tornado possible, which means that anywhere within that area, we could see a tornado producing storms. So we got to watch that very closely. But you notice here we continue with that tornado warning with a confirmed tornado here into Cedar County. Still a little portion of a very small sliver of Muscatine County, but the threat is not in Muscatine County at this time. That threat remains off to the north here. It's moving right now. Let's see here. Is the tornado or the tornadic part of that is right now near Bennett. So I would assume here momentarily we're going to get some sort of report or new tornado warning here to include Loudon over towards Calamus. Route 30, this is approaching the Highway 30 corridor here into Jackson County, northern Scott County, as well up towards Clinton County, Jackson County, Scott County. That is the area that we're going to be very concerned with as these storms continue to move off to the northeast. But right now, circulation just west of Bennett. We have had reports too, trained weather spotters reporting that there is a rotating wall cloud in this area. So that would most likely mean that that tornado has lifted. The circulation seems a little less broad, but don't let your guard down. This is moving into a very favorable environment, as we mentioned. So we're going to continue with that. That might be merging with this line. So if that happens, I think that threat's going to, that tornado might weaken a little bit, but we have to watch very closely this whole line that's now crossing the river into our Illinois counties. But namely here, if you're, look at this, this is that hail core that we're watching. Right now, just south of Cole Valley, you're getting some hail. It's heading northeast, might cross over the Big X region here. I think it's going to be very close to the Big X. Kelowna, here's Wolf Road into Geneseo. Geneseo, the most significant portion of this might go just to your northwest. Let's check for rotation because that has been our concern. And yet we still see some broad rotation, reds, greens. It's not as tight as we would like to see for a tornado, but nonetheless, it's still there and it still needs to be watched very closely. Backing things up and heading to the south, some broad rotation near Aledo. I was watching this though here. Look at this. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's the
just
one that
west
we
of
were
Roseville.
focusing on a little bit while ago.
Yeah, that continues to be something we need to watch very closely here as that continues off to the northeast. Still, that again, anywhere you go in the viewing area until that final line moves through, all areas pretty favorable for tornadic activity here this afternoon and evening.
All right, we have a live shot from East Moline. Our photographer Mo Ortiz out there checking out what's going on here in the metro. If we can get that up, we'll take a look. And again, we've had reports of some small hail across parts of the viewing area. This is East Moline, and obviously, yeah, it looks just like a stormy day from this vantage point. At this point, nothing more than some heavy rain moving through the East Moline area, kind of on the top of that cell that's depositing the hail south of the I-80, 280 loop there, probably by the airport into Coal Valley. And got a new tornado warning. Okay, we'll take a look at that. So this is the new tornado warning right here. And again, it's because of that Cedar County storm. As we get a little bit closer in, again, you certainly see where the hail happens to be. And there's our severe outlook, whether that's what I want or not. That's our severe outlook for today. And we are still in that 3. So as we go to the north, what we'll do is take a look at where that new tornado warning is. And of course, now it's getting officially into the TV6 viewing area. That's a warning that now is including portions perhaps of northern Scott County, but also as we look into much of western Clinton County. And we'll take a look at the details on this one as we put the information on the screen for you. There you see Loudon, very large hail core coming that way. So Cedar and Muscatine County, that's the tornado warning, that's off to the south. So let me back this up just a little bit, and it'll grab hold of this new one. There we go. Cedar, Clinton, Scott County, Thursday till 5:30. So we've got about 25 minutes to go on this one. Hail that could be 1.25 inches in diameter. Right now, the leading edge of the storm is just getting down Highway 30 into western Clinton County. So not that you're worried about that. It's really the core of the storm a little bit farther to the west that we're worried about. And as we get this on the screen, we'll get a little bit closer in. Just get back onto the clear radar here. There we go, that should do it. Let's get into the front part of that hail core, and this is where we could be seeing not only the hail but that continuing rotation. And this is now just east of Tipton, and again, if you're in these areas, especially northeastern Cedar County, western Clinton County, you want to take shelter because this storm is only going to increase in intensity here over the next few minutes as it gets closer and closer. So we'll get even closer into say the Wheatland area and give you an idea of when this storm's going to come your way. It's really just a few minutes out, but there's Highway 30, there's Wheatland, just south there of Loudon. That's where the real strong hail core happens to be. And as far as the size of that hail, potentially we're looking at, let's see if that'll register. Give it a second here. There we go. That should get it. Our rain rate there, 1/3 of an inch an hour. And there we go, quarter size hail. And again, this is moving right up toward Highway 30 between Loudon and Wheatland. It's probably where it's going to cross, but I'm going to do a little time frame for you here, give it an ETA, and we'll get out of this close-up look so we can do a bit of a track. And this storm is probably moving to the northeast here. Looks pretty fast. I mean, this is one that's about probably a 55 mile per hour storm here. So let's get to that hail core, and I hope we can get all this in. Now, it doesn't look like we can, so I'm just going to have to move this back. Disregard what you see on the screen there, because I'm just going to move this back.
While you're doing that, Eric, we can stay on your shot there, but I do want to mention the sirens are now going off here in the Metro Quad Cities. That is because part of Scott County is under that warning now, that tornado warning, and that is why if you're in the Iowa side of the Metro, you are hearing those sirens now. So we're more concerned about what's happening here into Clinton County right now, but if you're in the Metro, move indoors, but the tornado threat is well off to our northwest at this time.
All right, so for right now, Wheatland 515, Delmer 534, Preston 546, Almont 556, Savannah 603. So there's still about an hour for this storm to go to get all the way to the Mississippi River, but it's going to be crossing portions of Clinton County. If it holds together, we'll see perhaps portions of Jackson County added. And again, what I'd like to do is take this storm and dissect it a little bit. We'll get to see if we have a hook echo here, anything that's showing up still, and it sure looks like there is. And again, unfortunately, because we cover Cedar County because everything that comes through Cedar County gets to the core, the heart of the TV6 viewing area. But of course, we cover Cedar County as well because we know we have a lot of viewers there. So what I want to do is just kind of zoom in on this hook echo here. Unfortunately, because Cedar County is not technically in our area, when we zoom in, we can't get too many streets more than just the major streets there. But as you can see, when we get toward southwest Clinton County, which we will with this storm in a minute. Still, it's kind of a ragged hook echo, but there is certainly something there. And as we take a look at the velocity, which shows us what the rotation is doing, there again, you see it. We tell you this every time. When you see the green next to the red, that indicates opposite flowing winds. So winds coming toward the radar site, winds going away from the radar site. So it looks like they're just north and west of, or north and, pretty much due north of Bennett maybe. It's a little hard to tell, but we might have that as our rotation, and that's just right at the tail end of that hook echo that we were seeing. So as we go back to the radar with the hook echo a little bit more prominent, again, what we'll notice is this works its way to the east-northeast, Wheatland, areas of Highway 30, adjacent and south of Highway 30 into portions of extreme southwestern Clinton County will be affected impacted by this storm very shortly. So again, as we move back out and give you a view of our whole area right now, we're dealing with 2 lines of storms, and within those lines, what we're finding is that not only do we have a tornadic storm in the Iowa Quad Cities, we do have some rotation on some of those storms that we have into portions of Illinois, especially in southern Henderson County, now moving into southern Warren County, part of that tornado warning that is up in effect right now. So as we take a close-in look and see what this rotation is doing here, that storm not only has rotation, but also that hail that's coming out just to the west of Roseville, probably around an inch, maybe just a little less than an inch in diameter with that light blue, but it's pretty good hail core there. Not only does it center itself in that blue, but that gray is also where we have hail. And as far as any rotation is concerned with this storm here, it looks like we're still seeing that, and that continues to move very close to Roseville. So where we're getting that portion of green next to red, again, air going away from the radar site in red. Think of the Quad Cities where the radar is, air going toward it in green. That circulation now getting very close to Roseville. So as we zoom into areas just west of Highway 67 here, we can get a little bit closer in and move this over a little bit. Got to be real specific with these buttons, but there you go. We get to Ellison, to Roseville. There's the bypass there, and that's right where that circulation is approaching Roseville. I'm not going to take a look and see if we've got any spotter reports of anything there. Well, Kyle picks it up.
Yeah, I do want to mention, because we do have a couple of viewers who have sent me messages saying that they're looking, one was in Kelowna, one was just east of Kelowna, saying that there is some circulation that they're concerned with. And this jives with an area of rotation that we've been noticing. Weather Service has been watching it. It's remained broad, but right now I am concerned that we do have a little bit of a tightening up circulation here. I'll get some, kind of show you where this is at. And yeah, you can see looks like it's starting to kind of curl in a little bit here. It's right over top of the Big X right now. So Big X is I-280, I-80, that interchange there heads up to the north. Here's Kelowna, right close to Kelowna right now. Looks like, I think the core of that circulation will be to your south. It is not very well defined like what we're seeing up in Cedar County, but it needs to be watched. You continue with a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. The rest of that line here through southern Rock Island County into parts of Mercer County, we have broad rotation. Hail threat continues there. Looking at the new update, yeah, and maybe we got to watch this closely. So Wolf Road, getting ready to cross Wolf Road. Here's north 2300th Avenue, just east of Kelowna is where that circulation is. Maybe right on top of Route 6 is what we're watching there. I want to go up to the north here too, because we've had additional cells develop here, and you can see this one heading towards the Clinton area. You're not technically under a warning, but we have to watch. We've got a developing hail core there. It is a smaller storm, but again, all these storms have to get watched. Not really anything damaging wind-wise or circulation-wise at this time, but we'll be watching that. Again, further to the south, we were watching this storm into Warren County, and we're going to continue to watch that here. We got that, again, severe thunderstorm warning continues until 5:30. All these are tagged tornado possible, damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour, maybe some quarter-sized hail, Eric.
Okay, yeah, I just want to go to the top of this line just to show you how quickly things are developing, and this has been kind of the footprint of these storms. They start up and they get going pretty quickly. So now we're into Carroll County here. There you see Milledgeville just to your west, a fairly strong storm maybe trying to form, but certainly the first thing you get is the torrential rainfall and then the lightning, and that's the problem with some of these storms. With the torrential rainfall, seeing anything more than just the rain and the lightning might be a little bit difficult, but there's now a new severe thunderstorm warning as we talked about that storm. Now new severe thunderstorm warning. I will get the information on the screen right now for you as we take a look at what this one's going to deliver perhaps.
Tornado possible, 60 mile an hour
winds. We've got tornado possible, inch diameter with 60 mile per hour winds. There we go, Carroll, Clinton, and Jackson County. That will go till 6 o'clock this evening, so that gives us about another 45 minutes as this storm here continues to move to the north and east. They're just noticing some reaction there from Kyle.
Yeah, look about, we have a viewer that just sent this in. We need to get this, Deanna, can you send this to the Weather Service? A viewer just called, said that they have a lowering. They're near, so northeast of Muscatine. Look at that. Right there. We got a strong kind of a blossom here. You can see that brighter color there with some greens matching up. That's right over Route 61. Unfortunately, that would there's Walcott Bluegrass area up towards Route 6. Again, viewers reporting a rotating wall cloud here just northeast of Muscatine. I want to confirm that. That was the exact wording. It says lowering wall cloud around US 61 and Mulberry Avenue in Muscatine. So that was just a few moments ago, a little bit delayed, but you can see right here is where we do have, there's a pretty strong uptick in that velocity, and that is a concern. So, oh yeah, look at that right there.
There you go, yeah.
There we go. Bluegrass, if you're in the Bluegrass area, we need to get a tornado warning out for this most likely, so we get that over to the Weather Service. They'll do that. Walcott, heads up.
Yeah, it looks
this
like
is
it's
your
heading
first
right
alert.
that
It's
way.
heading right towards Walcott, and we're in such a position here where this could go pretty fast as we're kind of seeing that happen. So right now, just crossed over 61 here. We have a circulation right here, and we've got viewers who are calling and reporting a lowering wall cloud and possible rotation within this.
All right, and again, we'll get back to that storm just in a moment. We're just going to, don't want to be too myopic, so as we wait for perhaps a tornado warning to be issued for that area, again, Walcott, that area, especially south of Walcott, your first warning to take shelter as that circulation heads your way. Again, what we're going to do is just kind of take a look down this line as we've got our new severe thunderstorm warning till 6 o'clock, and again, this is for portions of Carroll County, back over to Jackson County and Clinton County. We move down the line, and you can see now another severe thunderstorm warning here. Let me get that out of the way so we can take a look at the information on this one as we're looking at Henry, Rock Island, Whiteside. That one goes till 6:15. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible, and up to an inch in diameter hail. So we're back to the radar, and we'll move down this line continually through the metro. And there you see that hail core now that's just north of the Big X, heading toward the Rock River I-80 interchange, or the Rock River I-80 bridge, I should say. Large hail there, potentially up to about half dollar, maybe an inch to $half in size. And then as we work our way down again into Mercer County, right over Highway 67, there is a hail core right there, and that is just south of the Rock Island Mercer County line. And then moving down toward that next storm that has that severe thunderstorm warning still attached to it, just north of Roseville, we're looking at some hail and might be seeing some circulation. Again, as we take a look at the velocities here, or the circulations, still hanging on, a little bit of a circulation north of Roseville. Nothing, it's very, very broad, so again, nothing too concerning about that. But as we, again, get out of this, what I want to do is get back to that system, or that storm that is getting just to the south and west of the Metro Quad Cities. We'll zoom in on that and show you right here. It's just kind of west of the whole metro where that circulation is, and this is coming up toward Walcott and getting really close into here. There's Bluegrass. I think it's going to hop over Bluegrass, but as we look at that circulation, do we have a warning?
We have a new tornado warning now for Warren County. We got a
for
radar.
Warren County.
Yep, this is that storm. We've been watching it for a while here, but right here we've got a circulation just to the north of Roseville. Roseville, you're not technically in this warning, but here's Route 67. We're noticing rotation between Monmouth and the Lenox area. We've got another new tornado warning, and this is only reason you're seeing this happen is because Knox County is in a different weather service office, so both offices have issued a tornado warning. So this also includes Galesburg, Oneida, all of a good portion, a majority of Knox County, essentially from Abingdon to Oneida. Includes 74 there, Williamsfield, McQuan, just north of McQuan, but that circulation pretty prominent there just southeast of the Monmouth area. We'll get in and do some tracking on this. It is a broad rotation, a radar indicated rotation, but nonetheless, you should take this very seriously right now as we continue to track this. We've got several areas of circulation, so if you're just joining us, yes, this is evolving pretty fast and pretty wild here, which we were betting would happen, and so that is what we continue to see. But this is now picking up speed a little bit, not much, but we are now about 50 mile an hour forward speed. So that does show that we are picking up that speed a little bit here. Here are some times of arrivals for you folks in Floyd. 5:24. We get to Galesburg about 5:35, so about 15 minutes. Galesburg, you don't have a ton of time, and then Knoxville 5:38, Watauga about 5:45. This circulation will be moving into town.
Okay, yeah, look at this hail that we've got around approaching Joslyn, going right up Interstate 88. We were talking about this right over Kelowna not too long ago, and this thing is just, I mean, it's it's gotten pretty impressive pretty fast. So let's zoom in. And again, what's going to happen here is that even though we're going to mention some street names, this is probably already perhaps up to Hillsdale. So I'm going to kind of backtrack here and move toward Hillsdale, right up Interstate 88, which is right here. You can see the top of that hail core. And as far as getting a little bit of a measurement on just how big that hail is, let me zoom out so I can do that. But it seemed to really just grow fast. And you can see those dark blues there. So as we take a question mark and try and find out just how tall this or how large this hail is, might take a second or two to come up. But there's our spot where we're kind of checking out, and nothing quite yet. Let's see, it's come up. There we go. It's starting to fill in. So our next thing should be the hail on that sign, and $50 size hail. And this is moving right up Interstate 88, which is right here. Here's Joslyn, here's Hillsdale. From Hillsdale, of course, we go up a little bit farther, and we're going to be getting up toward Prophetstown and Erie. But if you're along Chase Road through Hillsdale, probably already over Hillsdale now, as fast as these are moving between radar sweeps, these things are probably moving, 5, 10 miles, maybe 10 miles, and maybe not that much, but at least about 2.5 to 5 miles. So if you're in Hillsdale, up toward Erie and Prophetstown, there's Springdale or Spring Hill. Yes, okay, that's where you want to be taking shelter, because not only are you going to see first this heavy rain, I mean, it goes from just light rain to very heavy rain in no time at all, and then we start getting the lightning and the hail. And just to give you a little idea again of where this is, I don't want to get too myopic here as we move back out. There you see it. There's LeClaire, there's Joslyn, there's that hail core right up Interstate 88, right up the Rock River, and this is going to be moving to the northeast, maybe east-northeast, right toward the center of our warning box here. So again, if you're in the path of this, you want to take shelter. Moving out, once again, we will take a look at how these storms have been working their way through and around the metro. It's this line coming in from the south, which does include that new tornado warning that is a little bit farther south. That's Warren County and Knox County. Again, we'll zoom in here and we'll show you what's going on with these storms. That tornado warning split between 2 Weather Service offices. For some reason, my zoom is not always coming up short here, but that's all right. We'll take a look at this storm as we work our way this way. There we go. Back west of Galesburg, and there you see that hail core weakening a little bit. Boy, the thing about hail cores is they cycle. Always see them do this. You'll see light to dark blues, then it'll go gray again, and then the white starts coming back up to light blue to dark blue. So north of Berwick, south of Monmouth, following that tornado warning. And as far as any rotation is concerned, again, what we were seeing earlier was enough rotation to give us a little bit of concern, and we're still like right over Berwick. So if you're in Berwick, you need to be taking shelter. You move a little west, or east, I should say, west of Abingdon. Here's Galesburg and 41 south of Galesburg. These areas, even into Knox County, now you should be taking shelter because this rotation is heading your way probably at about 50 plus miles per hour, so you won't have a lot of time to react when it gets in your neighborhood. And that's the story about today. Have that severe weather plan ready to go. Act on it quickly because these storms are moving fast. Kyle?
Okay, we've got reports from a viewer who's they say just outside of Galesburg, and they're seeing a funnel cloud. So we're gonna look into that and get that validated here. I want to go back up here to Cedar County real quick here, and just got some times of arrivals for you folks up in Cedar County, Jackson County, Clinton County as well. And right now, here we go. We've got just northwest of Calamus here, and excuse me, this is now exclusively in Clinton County. Northwest of Calamus, we've got that area of circulation. It's pretty prominent right over Highway 30, and that's going to continue off to the northeast. I did a broad path on this because we do have a couple areas that we're watching, and we do also have some damaging winds to be concerned with. But Delmer, about 534, Charlotte, 542. The tornado warning ends about to Route 61. But I would assume, based off of what we're seeing here on radar, we continue with a circulation right near Calamus, and that's going to continue off to the northeast here. So we're going to continue with that tornado warning most likely, and so we'll look into that. And I also want to mention here too, folks, we've got reports from Cedar County that there has been damage. Also Muscatine County, that there has been some structural damage. We're working to confirm that. We've talked to dispatchers. They've confirmed that. That's information that we are working to get crews out on, but our crews, obviously we want them to be safe, and it is not safe yet to send our crews out. So stay with us here. We're going to get those reports on where that damage was, but Muscatine and Cedar County is reporting damage at this time. Here's Calamus. It is, it's about right over top of Calamus right now, right over Highway 30 is that circulation. Here's 160th Avenue, 200th Avenue, just some streets that folks would know. Grand Mound out here. This is going to be to your north. Look at how fast that moved up to the north there. So it is trucking now. It is moving very quickly towards Welton. About out of this warning, but maybe weakened just a touch there. But nonetheless, we continue with that circulation. I would say right now, yeah, just in that area there. Here's Charlotte. Here's Welton. Moving off to the northeast. We'll need a new warning most likely for that here momentarily. But I've also, Eric, been watching this here as we've had some reports from viewers. A couple viewers called and said that they saw some circulation near Kelowna. That was when this was down towards Kelowna.
Right.
It is very broad and has remained that way, so that is good. But it is something that we are going to watch. I want to go back to this area we were watching that was moving into Muscatine County. Again, we had that viewer report here. We've got a little bit of muddled data. I'm not sure what is going on exactly, but there is something the radar's been picking up, and it almost will fool you that we've got something significant there. But at the same time, we do have some broad rotation possibly with that. We continue with that severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. That's for Cedar, Clinton, Jackson, Scott counties. The hail size has upped a little bit here. We're now up to 1 1/4 inch. So we're getting up to $half sized hail there. So watching that. But Joslyn, oh boy, that hail core is strengthening. And right over top of Joslyn, you're probably seeing now ping pong to golf ball sized hail there in Joslyn, Illinois. Heading up here, might be following the, almost skirting the I-88 corridor there as it heads up into Whiteside County.
Yeah, let's take a look at that hail. We'll come back to this map here. I believe we're ready to put up a live feed that we've got from out in the field, so do that at any time as soon as you can get that up. What I'm going to do, though, here is just go right into the hail that we have. We'll zoom into that hail that's right near Joslyn and get an idea of just how big that is as we take a look close up right on top of Joslyn. It looks like it might have even come down just a bit from last time, but there you see this is, where was this out of? Kelowna. Okay, this is out of Kelowna, so a lot of heavy rain. And again, it's really tough if there's anything circulating as far as cloud bases or tornadoes to see anything when the rain is this heavy, but that's Mike Ortiz around Kelowna. Now, as we get back to this hail core around Joslyn, up there it moved, so let's try this again. On the outskirts, pea-size hail, but there you see in the core, quarter-size hail now, but what I was trying to hit was that purple, so it's come down in intensity. We're at quarter-size now, and as we come out a little bit, what I'm going to do is get to that other storm that we have a little bit farther to the north and west into eastern Iowa, because I believe we can take a look at where that hail is at this point. Another little hail core just due south of the Quad Cities. But here we go. This is going to be crossing Highway 61 shortly. It's north of Highway 30, approaching Highway 61 in, say, west central Clinton County. And as we take a look at this hail, again, this is probably going to come up around quarter size, $half size. There we go, $half size with this hail. And this one is running right toward the folks who live along Highway 61. And as we show you who's in the path of this one, there you go. There's Welton in the path, right down 190th Street. So as this was moving a little bit to the north of due east, this will probably skirt the Welton area, then head on to Charlotte. You can see Charlotte back there in the to the far right on your screen. Oh, wow. So you get this one back here. There you go.
Hey,
yeah, there you go, Charlotte and Goose Lake and down 136 there. You have some new info.
I'm going to get something over to our Teams channel here.
Okay.
And so we can get this. This is a link to a rail cam in Galesburg right now, and we could see a lowering on this. There is a wall cloud with this, and I've got visual of it. We got a new warning that sounds like it just came through.
Tornado warning, yep.
A new tornado warning. So let's see. We'll get where that's at here.
Let's see.
Momentarily, and then so I just put that in, guys. If you can go ahead and let us know when that's ready. So new tornado warning up here. We just talked about this. Okay, it's up. Let's take it. I want to show this. This is Galesburg, and then we'll get back to the new tornado warning. And there you can see, Eric, you can see that is the area. It is a wall cloud. And what we've got is that's the area that we're watching heading into Galesburg. It's going to head right into the city of Galesburg. But there is a lowering. It's not I don't see any funnels. There was a report of maybe a funnel cloud, but it looks like a broad rotation. But there is certainly a funnel cloud that a wall cloud that we are watching, and an area of circulation heading right into town. So
it looks like it's
Galesburg,
right now going to be crossing over the southern portion of the BNSF
actually, look at
yard
that
there.
left side of the screen there. That might be some area that we have to watch.
Really hard to tell.
It is. I wish,
Again, with the
wish we
rain.
can move that camera
Yeah.
too. But if you're in Galesburg, take your tornado precautions right now if you haven't done so already. Back out here, and I want to take a look at that new warning. It is in place for those areas that we were just tracking and just talking to you about here into Clinton, Carroll, Jackson County. So now we're crossing into Illinois with some of these tornado warnings. Charlotte, Welton. It is very close to Welton. That circulation continues off to the northeast. This is also a very favored environment, so we continue to be concerned about that. So we're going to watch that closely here. Charlotte, Andover, up towards just getting into Savannah. Also, Preston, Iowa. We're now into Jackson County. We're going to be watching that. But Welton, Charlotte, Andover, up to Savannah, that's the area I would be most concerned with. But as far south as DeWitt, in the Highway 30 corridor, you are under that tornado warning. Take shelter now. But again, the most significant portion of this is now crossing getting close to the Route 61 corridor. Welton specifically and Charlotte, take your immediate tornado precautions if you haven't done so already. One thing I was also looking at too, Eric, is we do have some other storms that we are watching very closely just north of Clinton, and broad rotation with those, but nothing as concerning as what we've got where we have that tornado warning. So that is the latest right now. We continue to watch these storms here in Henry County, Illinois as well. Hail is the primary threat right now. We'll continue to watch those for circulation, and of course that tornado warned storm in Knox County and Warren County.
Yeah, we'll go back to that one right now because I do want to do a track on that. You can see right now that we've got not only the hail core, but what we were seeing there on the rail cam, that southern portion of the BNSF yard kind of going out of visibility now because the rain is so heavy. But with this storm, we can do a little ETA box here. We'll get back to the kind of midway between the hail core and the leading edge. So at about 50 miles per hour, Knoxville 536, really right on Galesburg now. So if you're in Galesburg, take your shelter. Millbrook to Toulon, 558 to 607 as we get this one into Stark County. And if this holds together, well, it will be part of this, let's say, wall of storms that extends to the north of I-88. This will make its way through Stark County and through Princeton County eventually.
Bureau County.
We're looking at this one, I'm sorry, Bureau County, thank you. And this one will, of course, cross eastern portions of Henry County. Actually, right now, it looks like it's coming into Geneseo. So we'll take a look at what that one's going to do here as we pan north and get to Geneseo. As I get all this off the screen for you to make it a little bit clearer. For some reason, I don't know if I'm locked up or what, but I can at least drop down a little bit. And there you go. So now we've got that hail core that we're still tracking, running its way up Interstate 88 for Henry County, Illinois, down I-80. This storm's probably right on Geneseo now. And this severe thunderstorm warning, which doesn't really include areas south of Geneseo, that line's probably right on Geneseo. But again, we've got that hail core there, and this is going to swing down Interstate 80. Might just skip north of Anawan, that particular cell, but we've got some more development south of it, Cambridge to Woodhull, and that's what we're going to be watching move through move down the Interstate 80 corridor. So as we get back to radar here, we can just take a little look out and get back up a little bit farther north to where some of our other storms happen to be. I'll just drop down here, but there you see the progress that we're making through Whiteside County, right up 88, still have that hail core that's kind of hanging around the interstate. And again, our tornado warning now with that hail core right on top of Highway 61. Let's take a look at how things are shaping up here in terms of the rotation. And there seems to be a bit of a bullseye right there. And again, that is, if we've got that tornado, we've got that right on top of 61 and just east of 61, probably very close to passing over Delmer right now. Let's get a little closer to that because I do want to check that out as we look at northern portions of Clinton County between DeWitt and Bacocata, and sure enough, there's Charlotte, there's Riggs, there's Delmer. So it's very close to Delmer, just a little bit south though. There you can see it's right along 250th Avenue. This is what you take right off of 61 when you're north of Welton to get into Delmer proper. So it's kind of right on top of Welton and moving a little bit toward the northeast. So that puts Charlotte in play. Boy, again, Charlotte takes shelter now. These are fast-moving storms, and again, if this is going to be anywhere, it's going to be in your backyard in just a few moments. From there, Goose Lake, miles to the north in southern Jackson County. There's Andover a little bit farther east in Clinton County. And as we take a look a little bit farther out, so we can, again, give you a bit more idea of where this actually is. There's our circulation right around Welton. And the National Weather Service polygon here is pretty much spot on as to where this is moving. They kind of like to get the line of movement right in between the outsides of these parallelograms, and that would put it up into northeastern Clinton County, might even hit southeastern portions of Jackson County, and then as it crosses the river, the Mississippi River, that's going to put it very close to Sebula, if not right on top of Sebula, and right around or just south of Savannah. And again, that's our tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect for these counties here, Clinton County, and of course parts of Jackson County and across the river into Carroll County. And as far as the time is concerned, this tornado warning goes until 6:15, and that's still a good 45 minutes for this storm to get across the Mississippi into portions of Carroll County, Illinois.
Okay, let's get, I want to look at a couple things here. First off, this is velocity. Same area we were watching, this is Walcott here, north, here's the Quad Cities. We're looking to the west towards the Quad Cities. We've got broad circulation, but what I'm noticing here is some damaging winds, and that's a threat too. And then I'll show you what my reaction was to here in just a moment. But right now, we're seeing about 60 to maybe 70 mile an hour winds here. We're sampling there, but I'm gonna go back over to Skyview, and you can see what we've got. What we've got here is we've got a shelf cloud that's going to be moving into town, and so, but within this shelf cloud, I'm noticing a few little areas of kind of a lowering, and specifically over in this area here. So I'm going to take a look at that. But look at the shelf cloud here as I pan the camera, looking off. This is more northwest Davenport right now, and you can see here that is a sign that we've got. Yeah, we're going to have some damaging winds in the metro here momentarily, but within this as well, again, there continues to be this threat for some tornadic activity. And anytime we see this, we've seen a lot of these types of setups here where we get into the metro and we get these shelf clouds. Once you start seeing it kind of get jagged like this, that's what we have to be concerned with, because that shelf cloud, that's the cool air coming out of a storm that's pushing up against that warmer, humid air. And usually it's just a flat cloud, looks pretty ominous, but then we get some, once you start seeing these ragged and a little bit of a lowering here, we've got to watch that because there could be some circulations within this. Eric.
Yeah, we've got a new warning, and it's specifically about what you're talking about. Look at, again, this is the leading edge of that next line of storms. I'm going to tell you that we've got some extremely high numbers of wind up here, and I will get back to it as soon as I can. Give me a second here, and here, let's... 74 mile per hour winds along that stretch there that we're kind of looking at right here into areas just west of the Metro Quad Cities. And we're going to go in there again. Let me zoom in and clean this off, and I will go in because I do want to get really close because this is really important here as I zoom in and get you an idea of what's coming out of Muscatine County into Scott County. This new warning that went up here, let me not step on things as I go backwards. Let's see, what are we looking at here? All right, this is the storm-based winds, and right here, I'm gonna, again, center it for you. But again, this is really concerning because here's the line, Muscatine County, this is Scott County, here's the Metro Quad Cities, and as we take a look at these winds, the last time I checked, they're up to about 74 miles per hour. Let's see if we can get this to register. Not that one there, but take my word for it, in that light blue, which is kind of a peak in the winds coming toward, see that light blue, you can see it, it's at the end of the scale of winds coming toward the radar site, clock those at 74 miles per hour, there you go, 73 miles per hour, and that's just hitting the line, the county line there, Scott County and Muscatine County. So as we go into areas just south of Walcott, we'll get you in here, yeah, there we go. boy, if you're in Walcott, you're going to get some pretty strong gusts.
Ooh.
Here's 70th Avenue here, 60th Avenue, which is essentially looking like the county line. There's East Memorial Road. So if you know Memorial Road, south of there, and probably now it's already past 70th Avenue. I want to make sure that we got that right. But this is that area of winds that are blowing in excess of 70 miles per hour now running into western Scott County.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna try to brighten this up a little bit. So we're looking at Skyview here. Can we take Skyview full, or take Max 2 full, please? Because it's going to be better. The resolution on this, I could tell, we're kind of got some things going on. We need all the clarity we can get. Here is looking, this is looking due west from the station, where the station's on Brady Street in Davenport. And in this area that we're looking, there is a circulation. There is a coupling of the winds that we're watching. And it does look like there might be a lowering trying to develop there. And we've got that shelf cloud. I've got this really brightened up, folks, so that's why it looks washed out. But behind there, you can see we've got something that we have to watch very closely as this approaches the metro. It's very close to the Bluegrass area. If you're in Bluegrass, I go ahead and take your tornado precautions. Oh gosh, okay, so we're going to continue to watch this. This is a threat for the metro. I want to get back up to that storm in Clinton County because we have a debris signature now being indicated near Charlotte. If you're in the Charlotte area, you need to be in your tornado safe spot immediately. You need to go right now. I'm going to hop back up here. We're on Max 2. Okay, great. And let's take a look at that. Oh wow, look at that.
Oh, wow,
yep, northwest of Charlotte. That is an active tornado, folks, so they've just changed it to an observed tornado. It might go just northwest of Charlotte. But this is a very dangerous and life-threatening situation. This, Eric, is the strongest circulation we have seen all afternoon long.
Yeah, and if we could let's do debris on that while we're on this shot. To see if we can get a debris signature from there.
Yes.
That's just south of, southeast of
there it is, right there.
Riggs. Yeah, there's where your tornado is, along 110th Street, and this will be heading toward areas around and just south of Preston. So if you're in Preston, take shelter now. If you're in Miles, take shelter now. Anywhere along 64, probably even down to in the Dalton Pond area, that small fishing area, take your shelter now. This tornado continues to be a kind of an east-northeast mover. So again, it puts it right around Preston and Miles here. 547 for Preston, 552 for Miles. And again, this storm, as we were talking about, if it holds together by about 6 o'clock, it should be crossing the Mississippi River right around Sebula and just south of Savannah.
Yeah, very dangerous situation here. Let's get back into that because now that we have that debris signature, we can tell you exactly wow, look at that. What we see here is it is, I'm going to put this in motion, and you can see what happens. You can almost see exactly the moment that it dropped to the ground here. So just to the northwest of Charlotte. So for perspective, here's Charlotte right here. Here's the Charlotte's a small community, and it is just let's measure it. Let's see how far north it is. But this Charlotte proper right there, it's about 2 miles to the northwest of Charlotte at this time, or at least at this last radar scan. And folks, it is heading right towards Preston. If you're in Preston, you need to take your tornado precautions right now. It is getting ready to cross over into Jackson County. Anybody in southern Jackson County, shelter immediately. This is a very dangerous and life-threatening situation. It is, as of this scan, again, these are moving very fast, 110th Street, 100th Street. It's going to cross over to 100th Street. It is heading red line, center line for Preston. I cannot stress enough. Preston, Iowa, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now.
All right, and as we move to our other tornado warning back off to the south, you can see that storm right over Galesburg. We will track this out because, again, this is moving at about 50 miles per hour. And now a new updated tornado warning here that you just saw come on the screen. And this is going to be, as we move out, about 50 miles per hour. You can see that in terms of Knox County up toward Victoria by 5:58, Toulon and Stark County by 6:14, Osceola now that we're getting into Bureau County, Osceola at about 6:23, Buda by about 6:33. So let's go ahead and we'll zoom in on this one and we'll see if we can find anything that is standing out, kind of like our tornado that we have up north that's around Charlotte right now. So as we get a bit closer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just what Kyle did on that last one. First of all, let me get that line off the screen. I got to zoom. There we go. Looks like we'll be able to zoom now. Yep. And as we take this a little bit closer, yeah, the zoom we'll have to look at the zoom aspect ratio. It's not quite working the way it should today, but as we look at any potential debris, yeah, we've got right south of Henderson, you can see that little change. It goes from
continues
light to dark north of Galesburg up toward Henderson. So there could be some debris right over a highway or Interstate 74. There's 67 coming on down. So if you're on Interstate 74 north or south of Galesburg, you want to stop or tell people that you know to stop if you give them a call. Hands-free, of course. But there's that debris signature north of Galesburg in Knox County. That would be with our tornado. And as we go to our velocity or our storm movement to see where we might be seeing things, yeah, there you go. And again, at this point, it's kind of reversed because we're south of the radar site. So the greens and reds are a little bit reversed, but there's that circulation right there. And that is just heading south of Oneida, right along, let's see, 167. So let's get out a little bit farther here. And as we look at those eastern and northeastern portions of Knox County, again, you want to take your shelter if you are anywhere south of Highway 34 in Knox County toward Victoria. That looks to be where that circulation, that tornado, is working its way right now.
Can we go to Skyview right now?
Yeah.
Let's go to Skyview because I'm looking at an area. We're getting reports. Folks are saying, okay, we've got a, they're thinking that this might be a wall cloud. I'm looking right at it here. And this is looking northwest. You can see the water tower there on the far right. That's up by Kimberly, up by the North Park Mall.
Yeah, that's Amazon in the far background.
Yeah, this is heading, it's moving northeast. You can see it here. There might be some very, very weak broad rotation with this, but it is not. It looks like this might be more of a damaging wind threat to me. But it's very ominous, obviously, and you can see that here. I'm going to kind of continue to move the camera. You see Brady Street down there, and we continue off to the north here. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning that they put out for this particular storm here. 60-mile-an-hour winds are the concern. Tornado possible with it as well, so we continue to watch that. But here we are looking more westerly right now. Again, west from the station in downtown Davenport. Very ominous sky right now, and we're going to continue to watch these little areas here. While I'm not noticing anything tornadic at this point on radar or visually here by taking a look at Skyview, we want to continue to keep an eye on it. So there's that's that shelf cloud there. You can see that is moving right into the heart of the metro here into the Iowa side, zooming things out, and you get a better perspective of what we're looking at here as this continues to move off to the northeast. But that is, yeah, you can see exactly, you can tell exactly where the heaviest rain is right there, dead center on that picture, moving into northwest Davenport at this time.
And we've just a few moments ago, 65-mile-per-hour winds as we come and look at the radar and the winds at the base of the storm. This would be under that shelf cloud, and that's what we're looking at right here, where they're peaking in the blue. There you see we're up to about 65 miles per hour. By the way, the minus is meaning that it is approaching the radar site, and it's plus as it goes past.
I just want to mention that this debris signature is over Preston right now.
Okay, all right. So we've got, if you're in northwest Davenport, or along Interstate 280 all the way down Highway 6 to, let's just say, Welcome Way, be ready to take shelter. You should take shelter now because as fast as this is moving, it's going to be in those areas pretty quickly. But you saw what's coming your way underneath that shelf cloud. That's where you get the strong winds that pop that shelf cloud up and get kind of undercut the warm, humid air. So with those winds at about 65 miles per hour from time to time, well, broadly 65 miles per hour, there you see it again. Every now and then it might hit a pixel that's bad data, and it takes it down. But this is going to be coming through northwest Davenport, say along and north of Kimberly Road especially. And as we move back off to the south, you can see a few more storms trailing through Henry County, Iowa, but that could be really the end of this line as it dips into northeastern Missouri. But we do want to get back to our storm that we're looking at up to Preston, toward Preston, and we'll zoom into that because again, this is a very strong storm with some very intense rotation right around the Preston area, and there's our hail core that's kind of associated with that tornado. And as we take a look at the way the air is spinning, there you see we're dropping back a little bit farther south here so we can get all of this in view. You can see that, yeah, we've got right around Preston that very intense rotation. That is going to be going right through Preston, probably going right through Preston now because at the speed of these storms, as fast as these are moving, yeah, you can see that the radar, the new radar scan just put this even farther to the east. So as we look ahead and find where that circulation is. Maybe not that far east. There you go. Right about here now, just north of Highway 64. It's already passed through Preston, so it's into rural portions of Jackson County, north of Highway 64, south of Highway 52. And again, there it is right there. That's area of circulation, that tornado. So let's get in and see what we can do for streets down here as we again try to keep you ahead of the storm. Green Island, this is just west of the Mississippi along the River Road there. You can see that circulation is approaching 75th Avenue, 500th Avenue, 475th Avenue. If you're in those areas, especially around and south of Green Island, you should be taking shelter now as we move this toward portions of extreme eastern, southeastern Jackson County. Again, kind of trying to lead you here because there's the circulation coming this way. It's crossing 500th Avenue. It'll be at 550th Avenue, 84th Street, Sterling, Iowa, or the old former township of Sterling, Iowa. There's the Mississippi River there. So this is really in that very southeast portion, that little corner of Jackson County. If you're in these areas, Green Island points south to the Clinton County line. You do want to take shelter now.
Okay, back to Skyview because very impressive here. I continue to watch this, and I do think that we actually have some rotation here. Eric, I'm going to let you be the judge of that. So if we could pull up Skyview, right dead center on that picture, very ominous looking shelf cloud there. But right there,
yeah,
there is
see some movement.
Yeah, we do see some movement. I had a viewer that sent this in just a moment ago, and I'm seeing it right here. Look at, yeah, Northwest Boulevard.
Okay, we're looking north though right now because there's the dome. And that means that rain shield is already between, say, 53rd Street and the airport.
Yeah, okay. Sirens are sounding here in Davenport. Folks, you need to take it. Yeah, look at this. So let's come back out here real quick. What I'm noticing here, I'm going to zoom into that, and then we'll go back to that picture. If we could do a double box, too, of Skyview and me out here, that would be great as well. But I'm noticing this is Northwest Boulevard. Here's the radar right here. And the Weather Service has a very good lock on this because they're right there. They're watching it. But right here, there is some broad rotation right over Hillendale Road. Here is Division, North Division Street right here. Here's I-80. This is going to cross I-80, so there is that I-80 cam up on Northwest Boulevard. Don't think we're going to see much out of it because it is usually tilted down to the ground, but we'll keep an eye on that. But there is some broad circulation with there, or in that area, rather, and so that continues on. I'm just because we've got a good pin on that, I'm going to put a track on that and kind of give you an idea of where it's going, who it's going to impact, and here you go. North High School about 5:54, the power plant at 5:56, Neil Armstrong School getting up towards the top of the hour, and then 6 p.m. we're talking Hopewell Elementary School is in that. Again, it's a loose rotation. It's not very well defined, but it is something that we have to keep a very close eye on as we do continue to we continue to be in that environment here that is conducive for tornadic activity. So we're watching that very closely. Backing things up here and going to check on what we've got still going on. We got a new update on that tornado warning. That circulation has weakened a little bit, but we're going to continue to watch that. Again, if you're in the metro, damage is being reported in Preston right now, and that is coming in into the newsroom here. That damage is being reported in Preston, so dangerous situation up there, folks. Here in the metro, and a lot of folks are concerned about what's going on. I'm going to center up radar and kind of stop things. Yeah, let's take a look at what's happening up on Northwest Boulevard and see. And whenever we get that up, just let me know.
Yeah, buildings, trees, and wires down in Preston. So wow. Might be a long night for power outages.
Yeah, so slow moving here, folks, as this storm is now crossing over the I-80. Let's go back. If we come back out here, I can take a quick look here. We'll talk about this momentarily, and then we're going to get back up to that very serious situation up into Jackson County as we continue with that tornado warning. Here in the metro, 60-mile-an-hour winds. It is marked tornado possible, so they did add that. And they did add that tag to it, quarter-sized hail here in the metro. Sirens are sounding. You should take your precautions now. There's not anything that looks to be close to being on the ground or threatening to be on the ground, but if you're in the northern part of the metro, being in your tornado safe spots, not a bad idea. Otherwise, heavy rainfall, some gusty winds are going to be likely with this as it continues off to the northeast. I do want to mention, too, this tornadic storm here in Knox County. We did get an extension of that warning, also into Stark County. I know we do have some viewers out there. Eric, you've got some new information.
Yeah, I want to take you to that Preston tornado where we We just had reports through the Weather Service of buildings damaged, also trees and power lines down. Hopefully that won't affect you because, of course, if you go off power, who knows when it's going to come on back. But let's take a look at where this is going to be moving. Again, we have that level 3 overall risk for severe weather. We are in the middle of it right now. And as we take a look at that storm, I just lost it, but I do want to get back to it because we're going to do a little bit of a time on this and get it across the river because the warning was just updated a little bit. Let's see, that's not what I want to do. They throw it to me and I mess up this whole thing. But here we go. We'll get a little bit closer. The storm's moving at about 45 miles per hour to the east-northeast. So there's the circulation right there. It's again, this is southeast Jackson County, Iowa. The warning was just amended a bit to get that back edge closer to Preston. So as we have a forward speed on this of 45 miles per hour, what we'll do is take this out and give you the estimated time of arrival for where you live. We'll take it to Savannah at about 6:08, Lauren at about 6:32, the Cherry Grove Shannon area, that's up in northeast Carroll County, about 6:39. But really for Savannah at about 6, I would say, as fast as these are moving, you could even bump that up to about 6 o'clock. Sebula as well. You need to take your shelter as this tornado makes its way toward the Mississippi River, crosses the river right around Sebula, heads very close towards Savannah. So by around 6 o'clock, you should be in your shelter, and that's just a few minutes away. Again, even at 45 miles per hour, this is going to make steady progress toward the Mississippi River if you are in those areas. Again, unfortunately, we've had some damage in Preston as we try to find out where the debris is with this storm. We might see a little bit of a debris signature, although this is getting a little bit far away from the radar site. But boy, there it is right there, right along 52. That's probably in the Green Island area. As a matter of fact, I'm going to zoom into that because that's actually, for being that far from the radar site, that gives us some pretty good visibility about where it's going and where it's headed next. So at this rate, it looks like it's going to be well north of Savannah, which is right down here. This will probably perhaps get toward the depot, but as we continue to see that move just south of Green, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, that's at 500th Avenue and Highway 52. Boy, wow. Some parts of that 52 area have a lot of bluffs and some tall trees. Wonder if we're going to see any damage from that. But again, as we back this out a little bit, I'll come out so we can show you where this is going to track. But again, it's moving right through the southeastern portion of Jackson County as our tornado warning continues. This far, again, this far away from the radar site, that is a really impressive debris signature. There's the county line between Carroll County and Joe Davis County. There you go up 84. You go through that winding road. It comes back from the river, goes through Hanover, and then you see Joe Davis County there. Our circulation, boy, in the last radar scan, it just kind of came off the map. That's where it is now. So thankfully, that means it is weakening quite a bit. And as we pan a little farther, you can see the track. It was going through Preston up toward where it says 52 here, right on the highway, and then right on that yellow line. Boy, that thing collapsed fast. That's good news because that was a damaging circulation, and now it seems to be weakening quite a bit. So that's going to be north of Savannah, kind of halfway between Savannah and Hanover up in Joe Davis County.
Yeah, I'm continuing to watch that too and look at what you were looking at too. We've got a lot of folks looking or sending us pictures of this pretty impressive shelf cloud that's moving through the metro. We don't want to go away from this very serious situation that continues up there, but look at this. I've got this is our Bettendorf camera, and you can see this is the edge of the shelf cloud. You can see the winds. Once that we started to see the edge of that, the wind was really coming in, but within this, yeah, you can see little weak rotations. Right now, I'm not noticing anything too significant with that, but it is worth watching and keeping a close eye on here. And you can see right specifically there. This is up on 53rd Street. Looking right now, I've got this pointed east from our camera on 53rd Street in Bettendorf there. So we're watching that. But back to radar and back to kind of we're going to take a broad view and give you an idea of what's going on where, because we do have a lot happening that continues. And again, this whole line is severe at this point. So right now, just north of Clinton, we've got that tornado warning that continues here for Jackson County, Clinton County. It is now radar indicated, but we have reports of damage. It was on the ground, so that continues on. Pretty serious situation there. I know we're going to continue to get reports and get crews out there on that. Galesburg, northeast of you, Knox County, Stark County. And I did, for the folks in the booth, we do have a video that was taken from a viewer near Oneida that we can show here momentarily that is in the Teams chat. So let me know when that's up. We continue with the severe thunderstorm warnings, though, here into Rock Island County, Whiteside County, all of Whiteside County, Scott County, but I would say Scott County, the threat is now a little bit further to your east and almost exclusively in our Illinois counties. And there you go, with that warning was dropped. But Whiteside County, Henry County, and then we're going to be watching the storm as it makes its way into parts of Henry County, southeastern Henry County, and into Bureau County. And it is 6 o'clock here, folks. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm meteorologist Kyle Dickens, along with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland. You're watching KWQC TV6 here in Davenport, Iowa. We continue with our tornado warnings and severe weather coverage here into the 6 o'clock hour. So we're continuing to watch these storms. But if you're in Bureau County, Henry County, southeastern Henry County, heads up, first alert. We're going to have some pretty nasty storms here moving in momentarily. And we've got some new warnings just got issued here too, Eric.
Okay, yeah, let's go through the times because we don't want you to lose sight of these. This tornado warning extended now to northern Stark County. Might eventually be an issue for extreme southern Bureau County. But as we take a look at the information from this tornado warning, well, did it again. Yes, we have this level 3 severe weather outlook, which continues across the whole area. But as we go ahead and zoom on into that warning that I was just talking about right here, this is getting now finally out of Knox County, but still in extreme northeastern Knox County. Still a bit of a hail core, and that will continue to track through northern Stark County. There you see Tulane right there. So as we then take a look at the details on this particular tornado warning, as Kyle mentioned moments ago, it is now 6 o'clock. This will go till 6:30, this particular warning. So this storm still has to get through northern Stark County before it affects that southern appendage of Bureau County, as you can see right there. Okay, so as we move on up a little bit, what we'll do is come on out and we will take a look then at the severe thunderstorm warning that includes portions of the Metro Quad Cities. And this is one that includes a lot of area. As a matter of fact, we're starting to add to it, but we do have now this area of severe thunderstorms. And this warning in particular that is for the Metro Quad Cities. We jumped north, though, a little bit because the tornado warning came on screen. So still till 6:15, that's just about 15 minutes away. A tornado warning for Carroll, Clinton, and Jackson County. That is the warning that encompassed that tornado that did some damage near Preston. Maybe more areas than that, but it seems to have quickly dissipated as it crossed the Mississippi River. Now let's take a look at our severe thunderstorm warning. Again, back here, this one includes the Metro Quad Cities. And that's the line that we've been tracking, especially in the western metro, where we're seeing our shelf cloud and getting some very strong winds. Now, say the whole western half of Davenport probably got that blast of 50-plus mile-per-hour winds. As a matter of fact, as Sharon DeReek pointed out, the National Weather Service mentioned that they had a wind gust of 56 miles per hour. So that's right up near that 60-mile-per-hour threshold. We've got this warning till 6:30, so that's about 25, 28 more minutes. Clinton, Henry, Rock Island, Scott County, and again, tornado possible along that line. Right now, we're starting to get this right over the station. You see that heavy rain in red? Mm-hmm. We're right about there, and we can now hear it on our rooftops. So as we back on out now, and I can take you a little bit farther east and north, we'll take a look at the storm warnings that are now in for portions of Illinois and the Illinois Quad Cities under these particular severe thunderstorm watches. Should come up here in just a moment. Carroll, Clinton, Jackson, we talked about that one. We'll move over because this one that's getting toward the eastern edge of our viewing area still has some very large hail right around Sterling. That's outside of our viewing area, but again, through Sterling. If you're in Sterling Rock Falls, while we're here, I might as well just zoom in and show you that that hail core is moving right towards Sterling Rock Falls. There's Interstate 88, there's Highway 30, there's Sterling Rock Falls. That hail core with lots of lightning just about to get on top of you folks. So make sure that you are taking shelter. We'll take a look back here as we zoom on out and move north and get a look at the warnings that are a little bit farther to the north. in our Illinois viewing area. And again, this is going to encompass that tornado warning that you can see here showing up in western portions of Carroll County. But again, it looked like the last time we checked that debris signature was starting to go away. And there you saw it kind of right there. It was right here, but it's gone away. So maybe there's not a lot to worry about with that storm at this point, but we'll continue to track it as we throw radar back on the screen and we come out a little bit. Then we can go to our northern viewing area, because certainly now other parts to the north are starting to be affected by some of these storms. Let me get the radar back. A new warning do we have?
Yeah, yes, we do have a new warning. They're taking this Joe Daviess County, kind of that northern extent. They're going severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible with that. Spin-up tornadoes continue to be a concern. What we have to watch, though, is this is Sterling Rock Falls, here in northeastern Whiteside County. I'm concerned why Sterling and Rock Falls both get ready for some hail. You're going to be experiencing some hail, maybe up to the size of quarters here, but also some damaging wind potential. This is in an area that we have to watch because, again, we could see a little bit better tornadic activity, a little bit better ingredients for tornadic activity, I should say, within this area. But the Emerson Road area right now, that hail core is over top of that area. Here's downtown Sterling, Sterling proper, Rock Falls, just to your northwest, that hail's going to go. But if you're in northwestern parts of Sterling, heads up, because that will be impacting you. But I do want to look at the rotation, because there's a weak rotation on the northwest side of Sterling right now. So we're going to continue to watch that. And it's right now near the Emerson Road and Street area down to north of I-88, but there is a coupling of the winds right there, again, northwestern side of Sterling. So heads up there. We're going to continue to watch that. That continues to move off to the northeast, booking it pretty quickly. So we'll watch that. But also within the core of this, look at these winds. And we're getting some damaging winds with this, maybe up to 70 miles an hour. So radar is sampling that and could be some pretty significant winds, not to mention that possibility just northwest of Sterling there, where we could see maybe a little bit of a circulation happening. We're going to be continuing to watch that very closely. We'll be into Lee County, Illinois momentarily. There goes a warning, new warning, Carroll, Joe Daviess, Stevenson, and Whiteside County. And then they issued a new warning out into Lee County, Illinois. So we'll be watching that very closely. But yeah, Eric, also real quick before we toss it back to you, sure. I'm still watching the storm in Stark County, and I want you folks in Bureau County, the southern part of Bureau County, from Princeton to Tisqua, Bureau Junction. This is your first alert, because if this thing continues on, it's going to be a tornado warning that will get issued here into Bureau County here within the next 15 minutes or so. Yeah, we want to go up to Joe Daviess County here. You see that warning that's still 7. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds with hail up to 1 inch in diameter. And as we take a look at what's happening with this line in particular, some strong winds. And again, tornado possible because right along the leading edge here, which is now screaming into eastern Joe Daviess County towards Stockton, anywhere around these leading edges, we could get those spin-up tornadoes. But as far as the winds are concerned, I do want to show that we did have some winds peaking there. You can see where that orange now is, that bright orange heading towards Stockton. So we'll try and get a measurement on that in terms of the wind. 72 miles per hour, our radar measuring. That's a long way from the radar, so that might not be completely accurate, but boy, that's still anywhere between 50 and 70 miles per hour for the winds that are on the leading edge of this storm that are now really literally just screaming into portions of eastern Joe Daviess County. Now, as we drop a little bit farther south into Carroll County and see what this storm is doing, again, right now, just east of and through Savannah and just east of Savannah, another area here where we've got some very strong winds. And this is going to go right through northern Carroll County. So let's take a look at this area here. We'll query that and get an idea of how fast those winds are going. And as you'll see pop up on the screen here, hopefully momentarily, about 50 miles per hour. So again, along the leading edge of these thunderstorms, which we have that tornado possible thunderstorm warning for, we've got the very strong winds now. It's registering mid-60s. So anywhere between, say, 50 to 55 on the low end, 65 to 70 miles per hour on the high end, as these storms still have a long way to go as they make their way through Carroll County. And there's what's left of our tornado warning, but we really haven't seen much of
of anything from that lately. However, now that we have this on the map, we'll take a look and see if we can get any circulation to show up, and we don't really see much. It looks like that circulation really broke down. It's crossed the Mississippi now, and if there's any kind of circulation, it's very broad from Sebula to Savannah, but I'm not really concerned about it. It looks like it's really come down in intensity. So back to our radar, just to give you an idea of what we've got going on in general. Very heavy rain. We've got these hail cores, and as I move down a little bit farther south, we'll take a look at that hail core that is right there over Sterling and get an idea of just how fast, or I should say how those particular hailstones are creeping up in terms of size, and we'll query this, and doesn't look like at this point it's anything too bad, but again, these hail cores, they strengthen, they weaken, they strengthen. Right now we're at penny-size hail just to the east of Prophetstown here, probably penny-size hail, pea-size hails here, so smaller hail most definitely, but as we take a look then at the rest of this whole situation, and again, we've still got some warnings here to get through as we finish off the evening. But yeah, this line of severe thunderstorms moving through the eastern portion of the area, and this is the one that started in west central Illinois, and this is what's left of those very strong storms that really started south of Iowa City toward Ottumwa and back towards south central Iowa. So these continue to move east. They're lining up with the Mississippi River right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings from any county along and north of Interstate 80. Those warnings continue, and then we still have our severe thunderstorm warning now for southern Knox County as that line continues to move to the east, and with that for Stark County, a tornado warning. I think that goes till 6:30, but for now we'll continue to watch that as those storms try to make their way into the southern portion of Bureau County south of I-80, and again just starting to get farther out of our viewing area now that we're getting southeast of Galesburg. Still, if you're in south central Knox County and you're watching us, severe thunderstorm warning, lots of wind and heavy rain with those storms, so you should be in your shelter.
Here we go. Yeah, with this, we were talking about that Stark County storm, and I was just looking at this this rotation, which is very notable, and we're actually getting at times what is known as a tornado vortex signature being indicated with this right in this area here. So very textbook circulation, but watch what it's doing here. It's got a very northeasterly track. And so we continue, and it kind of tucked a little bit more to the north. And so what we're going to do with that, I'm going to take that where we know that is, and we're going to head off to the northeast on that continued path and course here, maybe just a little bit further out. We'll get it up towards the Princeton area. We'll take a look at this. And so here is, if it continues as a tornadic storm on the current path and course it's on, it's going to be in the Elmira area here in a minute, right now actually. Osceola, about 6:15. Then it goes into Bureau County about 6:30, Buda, or just between 6:25 and 6:30. Then Wyanett, 6:34. Perry Memorial Hospital, or I think it's OSF now, 6:40. That's in Princeton, so 6:40 for you is when we would expect that. I do believe, based off of what we're seeing here, that we would continue with that tornado warning. I think that right here we've got that circulation right over top of Elmira, just southeast of Wethersfield. New update there, Osceola. Right there, we still have that circulation, wind moving towards the radar, away from the radar in the red there. And so right over Illinois 93, here's Kentville Road. It's approaching the Kentville Road area. So we'll be getting either a severe thunderstorm warning or a new tornado warning here momentarily, and maybe even a developing circulation too. Look at that near Toulon. So maybe a couple areas within this whole complex of storms that could be rotating. So we'll take a look at here at how heavy the rain is and where the rain and hail is. And you can see that, yeah, that area here just northwest of Toulon might be a developing circulation there. I think as this storm kind of evolves and congeals a little bit, I think just northwest of Toulon. And here's the deal, folks. We haven't seen much activity out in this area. So right now, temperatures in Kewanee, it's 71 degrees, 71 in Princeton. Compare that to 59 rain-cooled degrees in Davenport, 63 Muscatine. So as these storms continue on to the northeast, this is in an untapped environment, and there's literally nothing to their southeast here. So they're unimpeded. They've got all the environment to themselves. Those are the ones that we watch for that potential for tornadic activity. Also continuing to watch these storms here into Whiteside County, and this circulation here east of Prophetstown, albeit broad, is something that we need to watch. A new tornado warning got issued here. Let's see where this one's going to be for. Okay.
Looks like it's just outside of Whiteside
Oh,
County,
just
or-
outside.
Yeah.
And that was that one that I was just talking about here.
Yeah.
That was
that's circulation.
Yeah, that circulation near
Dixon.
Sterling. Yeah, so Dixon, Illinois. Here's Dixon, Illinois. Sterling, this was that store. This was right over top of you just moments ago. We were talking about that. And now into Lee County. I know we've got viewers out there in Lee County, Illinois. This is your first alert. You need to take shelter now. Ogle County as well. Heading up towards the Oregon area. Franklin Grove, just to your northwest. But right near Dixon, if you're in Dixon, Illinois, take your immediate tornado precautions. This is a tornado warning for you. So very strong indication of circulation there. Just northeast of Sterling. Again, that was right over top of town, and we would notice that it was evolving, and that's why we warned you about that as it was moving through town. Right now, it's off into Lee County, Illinois, Ogle County, northwest of Dixon there. It will impact the northwestern portions of Dixon, and a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning for Bureau County. So they're not going to go tornado warning quite yet. We'll see if this evolves. But if you're in Bureau County, Putnam County, this is until 7 p.m. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning tag, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and a tornado possible with that as well.
All right, well, let's do our radar roundup here. We'll start to the north, we'll move to the south, and we'll take a look at all the storms that we have that are going on right now and all the active warnings. Only pan this a little bit farther over so we can get everyone into view here. We'll start off to the north, and we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for much of Joe Daviess County. But as you can see, the line of storms now making its way off to the east. So shortly, it won't be much of a concern, just leaving a little bit of heavy rain there in its wake as I want to get this back a little bit farther to the west. There we go. All right, and I'll move down toward let's see, let's get into Carroll County here. Still a lot of real estate in Carroll County to get through. It's this line of storms right here that's making its way east. But again, remember when we talk about the bowing out, that backward C, that means that on the leading edge of these storms, we could be looking at some pretty strong winds. So as we take a look at the speed of those winds, yeah, right there, right along that line of thunderstorms, it's kind of moving in the northwestern portion of the county back to the east and southeast. We do have some very strong winds, and we'll take a look at just how strong those winds are. This is going to come up. Okay, 47 miles per hour. That might be a bad pixel. I'm sure these are a little higher, so we might be topping 50 miles per hour with some of those wind speeds.
Tornado warning.
And new tornado warning for?
That is going to be we're going to go back to Knox County. I want to mention,
okay,
though,
yeah.
that tornado warning that we had for Lee County, Illinois. There's a confirmed tornado on the ground. It looks like in the Dixon, Illinois area right now. They've got a confirmed tornado. We've got debris being picked up on radar as well. So this is, again, just outside the viewing area, but I know a lot of folks in Sterling Rock Falls. We're very familiar with this area, and so you know people, and some folks in Dixon do watch us. So heads up, there's a confirmed tornado in Lee County, Illinois. Back to Knox County, where we have a new tornado warning. And oh yeah, this is a very southeastern portion of Knox County. Here's Peoria County. Here's I-74. Circulation from Mequon, just outside of Mequon, is where we have that circulation. But it is a little bit more broad than the circulation that we just showed you up into the Lee County, Illinois area. But nonetheless, tornado warning for Knox County here for a few. It's not going to last long. 6:45 is the time, but probably here with about 15 minutes. 20 minutes. This will be exclusively an issue for Peoria County, but it is tightening up here just west of Elwood. Here's some streets. Here's Illinois 8, and that seems to be the area of circulation just southeast of Mequon for that one. But tornado warning for Knox and Peoria County until 6:45.
All right, and back to the northern extent of our line, and we're continuing to work south. These are the storms here in northwestern portions of Carroll County that are producing winds of about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Lanark, Milledgeville, you still have to get through these. Milledgeville, you're just getting through the initial line of storms that we've had this afternoon. Second one is on its way, but at this point, you can kind of see, if you look at the red and the extent of the red early on versus what it's at right now, it looks like these storms are starting to weaken a bit, and maybe that accounts for those 40 mile per hour leading edge winds versus the 60 to 70 mile per hour leading edge winds. So as we drop back to the south, we'll get back there, and there we go. That's a little far south right now, but we'll get again toward where we want to show you the next warning in the progression from north to south. Actually, a couple of them. First of all, as we look at this first warning, that does still include the Metro Quad cities, and this should come up with information now for, well, it's going to pick this one, this tornado warning that's still out there. So I'm going to have to get a little bit farther. That's out of the viewing area, although if you're in Dixon and you're watching us, we know some people do, what you'll want to do now is get to your shelter, because that is getting very close to where you all are. Getting back to just radar alone, now we can zoom in and we'll take a look at the northern portions of this warning that does include the metro. And again, this is still into portions of Clinton County here. This warning, accounting for these storms right here that are now right along the Mississippi, it looks like if you're farther west, say toward DeWitt, your severe weather threat for the time being is over, as we again get a little bit oriented here. You see where the leading edge of the storms from earlier, they're still affecting the Sterling area, and there's still some heavy rain there. There's some hail just to the east of Prophetstown. This will be making its way up toward Interstate 80. And again, that second line of storms as we look to the west, western portions of Whiteside County and that northern fringe of Rock Island County, that's where those storms are right now. And we will continue to work our way down this line as we get toward the metro. Storms, the eastern side of the metro on both the Iowa and Illinois side. Things will be picking up here towards Silvis and Kelowna with this second line. You've already had one move through. This is coming your way, so we're dealing with some heavy rain. And this, again, this warning here that we're looking at that includes the metro, we'll get the info up here right now, and you'll see that this goes till 6:30. So we're about 10 minutes away from this warning expiring, but that's not to say that it won't be repositioned a little bit farther off to the east as these storms continue to move on through. Again, we'll work our way down, and Henry County just waiting for the arrival of the next storms. And there, as you can see, toward preemption in northern Mercer County, that's kind of the end of that line where things are starting to calm down. It's already been a busy day for Aledo, but you do see a little further development back toward the south and west of that part of the line into southeastern Iowa. So again, I'm not so sure that these will become severe thunderstorms, but they are out there probably right along our front. So we'll have to keep an eye on those. And as we again move a little bit farther to the east now, as we get things back toward our leading edge storms, we get to Henry County and Bureau County. Bureau County now under that severe thunderstorm warning. There are the storms working their way down Interstate 80. If you're in Princeton, you're going to have to take shelter soon because the weather is going to turn much worse. Our hail core starting to weaken there now that it's north and east of Toulon. And then again, we've been talking about this part of the storm here, extreme southeastern Knox County, pretty much getting out of our viewing area, but nonetheless, if you live south of I-74 in that southeastern portion of Knox County, still have some storms moving through right now. There might be some small hail, but of course lightning is always a concern, and as far as anything that's very windy in those areas, we're not looking at too much more than the standard gusts of about 40 to 60 miles per hour, but we'll also take a look at perhaps a few circulations. These could be some of those leading edge circulations. Again, that's where we've got the tornado warning for those now with that severe thunderstorm warning continuing for south central Knox County. That's really about how things are going now, is that first line, which was strong, is working its way off to the east, and the second line is working its way off to the east as well, kind of following it up. But at this point, these severe thunderstorm warnings mostly in play with a couple of tornado warnings, and our tornado warnings right now aren't showing anything too detrimental. Kyle?
Yeah, I want to go back down here to the south towards that Bureau County storm. I'm going to stop things. I know we were talking about it just a few minutes ago, and I want to give kind of an update here what we're watching. We do have very broad circulation southeast of Buda, not anything I would say tornado warning worthy quite yet, but this area near Toulon, I continue to watch that. What we have here is we've got a couple cells that have merged, and what I think is going to happen here is one or two of these are going to strengthen, and then we'll see the circulation reorganize. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. It's a little bit looser near the Toulon area. We've got that curving going on with that storm. Continues to move off to the northeast, but what's in Bureau County right now is some heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds, but still, you want to be alert for that. Another storm I'm watching here, too, is just south of Sterling. And it's this storm that has got that, it had a confirmed tornado. It is broader, but look at what's happening here just south of Sterling again. We've got another area of circulation starting to form here. And this is going to move into Lee County, the Harmon area. I know we do have viewers out there. Maybe not as far east as the Amboy area, but just northwest of Amboy. But Dixon, Illinois, that will head right into town. And that area I'm talking about is right here. It just went over Route 40. So this is, wow, look at that. That needs to get tornado warned right now. This is southeast of Sterling. Here's Sterling proper. I'm going to get in a little bit closer into this, and this is a very notable circulation here. So here's Sterling right here. This is just getting ready to cross into Lee County, Illinois. Here's Harmon, Illinois. It's going to cross over I-88, but folks in Sterling that are watching, we've got a lot of viewers out there. Heads up, Dixon Avenue, Route 30, Highway 30, excuse me. That circulation just north of Star Road, be in the vicinity of the airport out there. We're going to be watching that very closely, but that is a strengthening circulation, very notable circulation. And the thing, too, to watch, and why I would be concerned with this, is when we talk about that Hook Echo, very favored area, and we've got some hail starting to form there, too. But this area here, what you get is these storms to blossom up. That strong jet stream that's over top of us shears that storm a little bit and fence off all the hail and rain off to the northeast, and then you get that circulation right under that updraft, and I think that's what we have forming here. So Whiteside County into Lee County, Illinois, I would expect here at any minute a tornado warning for at least Lee County, Illinois, and that would impact the Dixon area. But again, back down here, Stark County, Bureau County, we're watching this. It's broad rotation. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible, and tornado warning continues for Stark County here until 6:30, which we'll see if we get an extension or a severe thunderstorm warning issued for that.
Yeah, and that's why we have these severe thunderstorm warnings with tornado possible tag, because we'll get these circulations. And again, this is the one that, this is the county line right here. This is Whiteside County. This is Lee County off to the east, and this circulation about ready. It's even in this radar frame here, it's already kind of centered right on top of the county line. So if you're south and east of Sterling, there you go, Van Patten into Harmon. These are the areas where you need to be taking shelter if you're watching us in those locations. We'll get back to the radar here, and what you'll see is some notably very heavy rain, but again, that hail core. Right now we're looking at the hail probably not topping the charts just yet, but again, we will see that perhaps spike a little bit later with that circulation as that storm moves a little bit farther to the east. But as we get back to the radar itself and we take a look at how things are shaping up for the entire area right now, again, things seem to be kind of winding down, and that's good because we have had these storms kind of rob the atmosphere of the moisture and the energy that has been in these areas here, most of our viewing area. That's why things are still strong to the east, because as Kyle mentioned before, they're kind of getting into an untapped atmosphere. And as these all move out toward the Chicagoland and that area, that's where these storms will likely continue to can blossom. At least severe thunderstorm warnings will be likely with these, maybe a few tornado warnings along the leading edge of this line. And as this line gets out, that initial line that we had coming in from portions of west central Illinois and northeast Missouri, this secondary line, which was the one that started out like gangbusters in southeast and south central Iowa, will start to weaken. And although I think the latest warning we have is for Carroll County until 7 p.m., if storms move out by then, we might be able to hang up our severe weather coverage for this evening. That would be a good thing, because we were kind of anticipating it being between about 7 to 8 o'clock. And we still can't rule out what's going to happen here with this line and possible circulations in eastern Bureau County. If tornado warnings go past 7 o'clock, we'll certainly be there if they are issued for you folks there. Already the warning in Knox County has been amended a bit now to the point where it's pretty much out of our viewing area, extreme eastern Knox County. And the warnings that we have for the Metro Quad cities, that line of showers and storms getting just east of the most of the metro. As a matter of fact, we'll catch you up on that right now. Yeah. And you can see that's getting into that northern spur of Rock Island County and portions of Whiteside County, everything passing over Port Byron and LeClaire and Princeton, Iowa right now down to Hampton, Illinois. Hampton about to be cleared of that line of storms, as is Moline and Rock Island, obviously, and much of the Iowa Quad cities, except for the portion where the Mississippi gets close to interstate Interstate 80 and the crossover there. We'll come out a little bit now and again give you a little bit more perspective on where this line is going, because again it does seem to be weakening somewhat, and as we push back a little bit farther to the west, there you can see that line number 2, or I should say not line number 2, but the leading line here is still putting out some very heavy rain for portions of Knox County and now Bureau County. And as we get into Bureau County, we'll take a look at just how those storms are progressing right through this warning box here. Again, as most of our severe thunderstorm warnings have been tornado possible. Right now, we'd be looking at the leading edge here. As a matter of fact, because of that, we should probably just go right in and get that kind of sized up in terms of what it could be doing with a look at the velocities or the movement. When we say velocities, we're talking about movement. And there's an interesting little feature right there, just south of Interstate 80. That's going to be just southwest of Princeton here. Let me zoom into this, because that is a little rotation, and we'll get you a little bit closer idea. Boy, right near Tuscaloosa. If you're in Tuscaloosa, take shelter now. Tuscaloosa up to Princeton, not liking the look of that. Again, just one of those leading edge circulations, and we talk about this when we get these situations, these what we call linear, these lines of thunderstorms. If you were, last time you were swimming in a pool, if you were at the surface of the water and you push that water forward right at the surface on either side of your hand, you'd make these little eddies. That's kind of like what's going on here. We're pushing air out of the bottom of these storms, and every now and then you get these little spins, and this one is right on Tuscaloosa. We'll get even closer as we go between Tuscaloosa and Princeton to get you down to some street level. Tuscaloosa is going to be just right off our map, but again, if you're at East Street, North Avenue, Lovers Lane Road, wouldn't love to be there right now, North Avenue, in that area just to the north of Tuscaloosa, and I'll reposition this so we can kind of see where Tuscaloosa is, just right off the map. Yeah, look at that circulation. Boy, it's right there. So this is going to be in Tuscaloosa and to the north. Rotation possibly able to be seen, but again, it's raining pretty heavy there, so that's a problem. It's going to be hard to see. And this is moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour, maybe a little bit north of east. So Princeton right there at the top of our map. Let me get that on the screen for you so you can see both Tuscaloosa and Princeton a little farther down. And yeah, there you go. We can see this rotation now, which is just on the north side of Tuscaloosa, just south of Princeton. If you're in these areas, and there you see that is Highway 26, I believe, yeah. If you're along and west of Highway 26, even east of Highway 26, as fast as these storms are moving, you do want to take shelter now. Right now, we're still under a severe thunderstorm warning for that area. Maybe, but again, it is a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, and we'll have to see if we get anything to come out from the Weather Service about this particular cell right here with that circulation.
Yeah, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is just outside the viewing area, but it is for that Stark County storm, where we continue to watch that potential for some circulation there. So it does not look as impressive as it once did, which is good, but we do still have a few pockets of rotation. You've been watching that one up just southwest of Princeton. We got to keep a close eye on that because, again, this area is still very favored and going to be that way until 7, 8 o'clock. So ingredients are still there for tornadic activity. We're southern Stark County, though. I'm still concerned about that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new tornado warning. That would probably stay into Stark, Marshall County, maybe up to Putnam County. But again, we are watching that part, the kind of that northern extent that is making its way into Bureau County, and we continue to watch that. I want to mention this too. If you're listening to us or watching us in any of our Iowa counties, the threat is over. You're clear. The tornado watch is getting shaved back here as time goes on here, and so that is good news. We still have a few lingering storms here, but these are sub-severe, so we're not too concerned about them. The activity into Carroll County has weakened dramatically. That's some good news. The big player right now is the storm that no longer has a circulation, but I think it's kind of reorganizing. These storms kind of congeal, and then what happens is once they do that, they have to reorganize, and we see that, and then we do see some rotation end up developing here. We're continuing to watch that here, east of Sterling into Lee County, northwest of Amboy, so watching that very closely. But again, right now the only only real storm that we're watching. We still have that tornado warning, Knox County. I want to mention this too. That circulation is now near Princeville, Illinois. That's Peoria County, out of our viewing area. So Knox County, you're in the clear. Henry County, Illinois, you're now in the clear. Whiteside County, we could probably give you the all clear too, although you have a storm coming. There's this cold front storm, but there is nothing really wind related with it. We'll check lightning here. Some lightning, but you can see where the lightning, wow, got a lot of positive strikes here in Bureau County.
Loud thunder.
New tornado warning did get put out for that. Again, kind of like what I was figuring would happen here, is near the Princeville area. This is going to stay into Stark Marshall County. I think it'll continue into in that region. It might go as far northeast as Putnam County, but I do think Bureau County, once we get this storm out, we will kind of see that thing or see the situation start to wind down for you as well. That severe weather threat will diminish some. But gosh, I continue to be that there's concern here just south of Princeton, because and we're a little bit further out from the radar. So radar obviously is in Davenport, and so when we still see some of these circulations, there is concern. It's not the most well-defined. It's not like what we saw up in Charlotte, make that very clear. But with the location of the storm, we could get that because we are out ahead of that main line where that tornadic activity is possible. But we have that green there, the red is away. And when you kind of start seeing it do kind of that sink drain effect there, that's what we get worried about, because that shows that things are starting to tighten up. Like when a figure skater brings in their arms and starts spinning, that centrifugal force, the atmosphere kind of does the same thing. Storms do the same thing. So we're going to watch that very closely. I do want to mention too, as we are kind of in a lull, we have no active tornado warnings at this time for our viewing area, although we have some active storms that we continue to watch very closely. I do want to mention this, that we have lots of reports. If you're just joining us, we had what seems to be a very serious tornado move through Clinton County and Jackson County. We have that one that we are watching. We've got crews heading up that way. We also have got reports of damage and structural damage in West Branch, western parts of the viewing area here, into Cedar County, also parts of Muscatine County. We have crews on that. We're going to have more on that damage, and what we learn more. As we learn more, we will pass it along both on air, online as well, and of course coming up at your news at 10. But lots of power outages too, Eric, also being reported. Several thousand customers throughout the entire viewing area here. Kind of sporadic, but we have definitely have reports of power outages throughout the region here from these storms that move through. Yeah, we had strong winds, lots of lightning, and again, as we take a look at everything as a whole, we're starting to get those warnings cut back. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning for much of Bureau County, as Kyle was just talking about, and southeast, extreme southeast Knox County. The storms are starting to leave those areas. That's really just out of our viewing area either way. So as we take a look then at what we're still dealing with, we'll kind of clean up the radar a little bit. And as you can see, it's kind of like this line right here that we've got still into northwestern Illinois, and then these storms here that are in Bureau County. So those are kind of the two areas. I wouldn't discount these yet, but again, I think those are kind of in a position where even though they might be along the front, we are we've robbed the atmosphere of much of the energy in, say, Des Moines, Henderson, Warren County. So those are probably going to be run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. And if they're not, of course, we will let you know about those if things do get a little bit stronger. But again, as we take a look at half and half here, we'll go through the northern half of the TV6 viewing area, move this over a bit so you can get everything in view. There's what's left. Storms crossing through the eastern portion of Carroll County, Illinois. These are dropping into Whiteside County. So still all of Whiteside County to go for the most part for these storms. Heavy rain producers at this point, not looking at anything too strong, although the rain right now, right up Interstate 88, is pretty consequential there. Just getting out of Rock Island County into Whiteside County. Probably they're approaching Erie and Prophetstown. Pretty good amounts of rain. Don't see a whole lot of lightning with that at this point. And that's right along our cold front, which is going to shift things here in the Quad Cities shortly. I was just looking at the temperatures, and we're falling back into the low 60s where we're still into the 70s ahead of the front. Dropping a little farther south. Again, we're working these storms out of the area. Really the only thing
of any concern would be these storms here in Bureau County, because again, we've got that rotation that's very close to Princeton, Illinois. So just on the safe side, should be in shelter until this warning gets allowed to be expired at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, Erica, we'll take a look here. I got that area of rotation. Weather Service also watching this, and they said they are evaluating this for a tornado warning. So if you're in Bureau County, heads up. This is something that we are continuing to watch here, and I think if we get a little bit more tightening up of the circulation, that is just on the southeast fringe of Princeton. So Princeton, it is just to your southeast, but heading towards places like Dover, Malden, eventually maybe off towards Spring Valley, Ladd, Cherry, Hollowayville, Seatonville as well. Here's the times of arrivals. Depew about 6:42. This is the entire line. This is not just centered around that circulation. So Seatonville about 6:43, Ladd about 6:47, 6:45, 6:50 Spring Valley, and then we're into LaSalle, Peru here about 6:50. So that's the times of arrivals and what we're watching here, and that just updated there. And you can see just east of Princeton now, right along Route 6 there, on Route 6 between Princeton city limits and the I-180 corridor is some broad rotation. So that will be crossing I-80 here momentarily, continuing off to the northeast here. Arlington to Ladd, Cherry are some areas that will be impacted by that. So we're watching that very closely. We continue at this time, severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. Again, National Weather Service is keeping a very close eye on this particular storm, and they are watching it. And if this circulation continues to hold or even tightens up a little bit, they're going to put out a tornado warning for that. So we'll continue to watch that here as that moves into eastern Bureau County.
Yeah, and back to that, let's take a closer look again. Remember the review here, radar 101, green, air going toward the radar site, red, air going away from the radar site in the Quad Cities. So we've got that circulation right there. And as, boy, that's just right over eastern portions of Princeton. And as we do zoom in a little bit, we want to let you know where we are talking about in terms of any local streets and roadways. But again, the problem is, there you see the new radar scan just out, so we can give you an idea of where this is kind of setting up. Right along County Road 150, and that's Highway 6 there. So as we, I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. We'll just work our way around this area here. You can see that where the green and the red are meeting, right there. Boy, that's really long Highway 6 at 180. There's East Street, 2300 East Street, 2385 East Street, running that way. And then again, East Street north of Highway 6 where that goes. I'll come out just a little bit and give you a better idea of the location of this. Again, this is right around the Princeton area, if not just a little bit south and east, or east certainly. And there's that circulation. Again, orient yourself. There's Highway 6. There's 180 that drops south from I-80, and it's these areas here that are kind of under the gun. If you're ahead of this circulation towards Seatonville, you do want to take shelter. Princeton, it looks like you're just clearing this now, but I'd wait a few more minutes if you are in shelter, just to give yourself a few more minutes to stay in shelter. And again, as we move ahead here, there's Seatonville, there's Depew, Marquette. These areas here are going to see this rotation. Maybe it's moving a little farther to the north than just due east, so maybe a northeast movement. So I would be more concerned about Seatonville and other adjacent areas of eastern Bureau County. At this point, no tornado warning, but we are still, as you can see, if you look here, this yellow line here, this is the eastern edge of that severe thunderstorm warning that has tornado possible, and we're certainly watching why, because we've got this circulation that is most definitely there. Maybe it's going to be kind of muddled here. We'll go down to the storm base, and that's not exactly what happened there. Okay, but as we, again, kind of look at this storm as a whole, what's going on along and south of Interstate 80. Again, the leading edge working its way east, so still, even though we have this circulation on the front end, there's still some storms to go for Bureau County and Princeton proper as well.
Yeah, we have a couple things I want to look at here. Is we've got a viewer just sent a message to me saying that they're on Wynette Walnut Blacktop just south of the Kentville, looking to the northwest. That's going to be right. I'll be right with that. And they're seeing some circulation. So I think we have a strengthening circulation. Two spots here, continuing east of Princeton right now, heading towards the Arlington, Zeering area, maybe over towards Cherry, Ladd. That's going to be a concern for you. Maybe as far east and southeast from where that circulation is as maybe like Spring Valley even could be included in that. Delzell as well. But we have to watch this here just northeast of Bradford because we do have, it looks like a tightening circulation, and we've got some viewer reports that they're seeing a visual of a lowering and some circulation within that. But two key spots there. You see that update. We're continuing with that circulation here, just about over top of I-80, the I-80, I-180 interchange there, just east of Princeton. I want to mention this, though, folks. This is the only storm left. We have all the other rest of the region. If you're in the TV6 viewing area, you're clear. Bureau County is the only game in town at this point. We've got two areas we're watching of circulation here just east of Princeton, between Princeton and Seatonville, and then again south of Tiscowa. It might impact Tiscowa, but that circulation looks broad. But we do have a viewer down there who is seeing that, noticing that, and we're going to continue to watch that. Severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible here continues until 7 p.m. here, so about another 15-20 minutes. But depending on how this continues to evolve, we might see that warning extended, or maybe even some tornado warnings issued here. So continue to watch that.
Yeah, and that's, boy, we don't have a lot left to go. I mean, unless we get some tornado warnings or a tornado warning for those circulations in eastern Bureau County. But there you can see the extent of that storm. And now we're really starting to clear out Knox County, save a shower there east of Knoxville. But as we take a look again at the picture as a whole here on our radar, this continues to be a situation that's slowly but surely working its way off to the east. Again, here comes our cold front, and we are noticing things start to cool off a little bit. We go from low 70s to low 60s east to west. And again, so as long as this cold front continues to move through the area, it will clear out really all of our Iowa counties except for Des Moines County, still some storms down there. But you'll notice a little bit of a change. Now, that said, tomorrow we have to talk about our severe weather possibility for Friday. It will start a little farther west, which means it gets here a little bit later. So unfortunately, if you had Friday evening plans, the second half of the evening might be when we get those storms to move into the QCA, moving through to finish off the evening, and they might not. As you can see here, how eastern Bureau County kind of juts out in our viewing area, might not clear eastern Bureau County till 1 in the morning Saturday. So that's something that we'll have to go through again tomorrow, most likely. But the thing is, where we started these storms off with those scattered supercells that kind of congealed into these lines, tomorrow, late in the evening, the storms coming from our west will already be in a line, having started farther out to the west. So that means that our main threats tomorrow will be damaging winds, widespread damaging winds, and still we could see some spin-up tornadoes on the leading edge of those bands of thunderstorms, which will once again orient themselves from north to south with a little curve back to the west, pretty much just like what you're seeing here. As far as new severe thunderstorm warnings are concerned, we had one just issued for portions of Lee County, but that's outside of our viewing area, kind of from Dixon to the east, that little box right there. And again, we're still monitoring what we've got going on in Bureau County. And actually, interestingly enough now, as I come on back here, because I do want to show you what's happening now in Bureau County, what I just noticed. Maybe you noticed this too, but it looks like there's a little hail core starting to form just south of Princeton. And there we go. Yeah, that's again right on that storm that we've been watching. It is within our severe thunderstorm warning with that area of hail. Getting a little closer around it so we can kind of take a look at just how big that hail is. And you can see it's kind of come over to the darker blue portion of the color spectrum right there. And you can see that's just right on East Street there. Hail size to be determined, but I would guess that that's going to be about $half size with that little hail core. Kyle?
Yeah, and so we're continuing to watch that. The rotation down there does seem to be broadening out. I want to go back here. We're going to go back to 5 o'clock, and this is when we had that tornado move through parts of our viewing area here. And so I've got the debris tracker turned on here, and I was just going through this, Eric, and looking at kind of where this thing started. And we're going to kind of plot this along. And
so that's the one that crossed between Delmer and Wilton.
Yep, so right here is the first sign of the tornado. You see that? That's what we call a debris ball. And what that is radar looks out and we can see how heavy the rain is, the direction of the wind inside of it. But what we also can see is about 10, 15 years ago, maybe even longer, maybe about 20 years ago, radar was expanded and they were able to, with dual pull technology, dual polarization, actually see what's inside the storm, not just if it was rain or wind or what we were talking or how heavy the rain is, but also what size object it was, and that's how we see debris getting lofted into the air. And what happens is we get this big dropout that says, okay, there's rain and hail and everything else around us, but there's something different right here, and this is how we know where we spot tornadoes. And there it starts. I'm going to advance things along here, and then boom, you go right here's another. That's when it was at its peak, I think, right just southwest of Preston. We continue off to the northeast, and again, to get this to show up, it went right over top of town.
Yeah, it really did.
It went right over top of Preston.
It's kind of hard to see because of the nameplate there, but yeah, that's why, because it's right over Preston.
And so continued off to the northeast here. Here's northeast of Preston, fanning out a little bit, which might mean that, and that's when it was gone. So what we could see right now is it looks like this was the corridor of damage from just west of Charlotte through Preston up north, just north of Miles, about an 18-mile path according to radar. So right here is where it looks like this damaging tornado went through. This is not the only tornado that we had in the viewing area here. We also had reports of damage, of structural damage out into far northwestern parts of Muscatine County near the West Branch area as well. So we've got crews heading out to these areas, but most notable I think is going to be this tornado that went through the Preston, Iowa area here, Charlotte, and Delmar as well. So we continue to keep an eye on that, and again, we've got crews heading up there tracking that. For now, though, yes, that storm here in Bureau County. I will say, though, the good news is that rotation still there, but it is broad. It is broadened out a little bit. We'll have to see here. At this point, I don't see a tornado warning coming for this. Just because what we have here is, if those greens and reds were a little bit tighter and a little bit more compact, I think we would see, we would have that concern for a tornado. There is still broad rotation with this, but the threat right now continues to be 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. Still something you want to be taking shelter if you're in eastern Bureau County, northern Putnam County, and new warning got extended there into LaSalle County too, so heads up for you folks in LaSalle County as this continues off to the northeast.
All right, so that warning goes till 7 o'clock for Bureau County, and it is holding its own right now, as Kyle was just mentioning. And as we take a look at the rest of the viewing area, we're just, honestly here, I know we're covering a Wheel of Fortune, but we are waiting out the last of our storms. Everybody in Bureau County, you're just as important as anybody else, and I'm sorry to say, but much more important than a game show. That warning goes till 7 o'clock. We'll wait to see, because again, there's still, even though it's broad circulation, the potential, if there's even potential for a tornado, we are on the way, on the air for that. Now, as we back this up a little bit, again, you'll notice that we've got the cold front coming through right here, and these storms haven't really changed their scope in the last half hour or so, which means that they are running into an area that is pretty much devoid of any new energy that they can spur any growth on. So it's really this line right here, still crossing through Bureau County. There are some isolated showers and thunderstorms, one right on Interstate 74, central Knox County, a few more coming through Des Moines County and Iowa, and again from just east of the Quad Cities, western portions of Henry County, right on up through portions of Whiteside County and Carroll County, now clearing, now they have cleared Joe Davis County. So really just taking a look at what's going on in Princeton, and I should say Bureau County, and as we take a quick look there, again, very heavy rain here, and again, a little bit of circulation. There's that hail core, so that's always a little concerning, because where you have the hail cores, that's where you likely have the rotation, and we're still on the leading edge of these storms here with those winds blowing around and spinning, have that rotation, and you see kind of a patchwork here of multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, the one for most of Bureau County here. That again goes till 7 o'clock. So we're closing in on 7 o'clock, I think, once that one drops off the map, and the leading edge of these storms get a county away or to the next county over as they work toward LaSalle and Interstate 39. That's when we can drop our coverage, show your NBC prime time will be intact. But again, we're still keeping an eye right at that hail. If you're in Seatonville, again, you know, you've got hail coming your way, take shelter. Could be some strong winds here, enough to maybe put a little horizontal movement into that hail. So if it is blowing toward your window, that's the last place you want to be. So again, get within your shelter, stay there. As far as the hail is concerned, again, we've got that lone core right there. Not looking at hail hail of any consequence right now. I'm sure these are just pea to penny size pieces of hail. There you go, penny size hail. So that's barely registering. But again, it could be one of those storms that the rate of hail is such that you might be noticing the ground almost turn white because there's so much of it. Haven't had any reports of that. It's always a possibility. But again, there you can see what's just outside of Seatonville, heading your way as this storm works its way down Interstate 80 to the east and maybe just a little bit north of I-80 as well. So back to the radar, you can see what's going on, and that tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning off to the east, pretty much like every storm warning we've had today, tagged with tornado possible because of the circulation within these storms. As we back on out a little bit, we'll just show you the whole area once again, and there you can see that the radar is getting certainly less active on the Iowa side of the Mississippi River, but there are also still some showers and thunderstorms to be dealt with in extreme eastern TV6 viewing area, and that is Bureau County.
Yeah, and good news too is we've got that tornado watch has been trimmed from a good majority of our viewing areas. So, and that is because what we're seeing here, obviously right now, moving through, is pretty much the end of it. So you can see here now all of our Iowa counties are now out of this tornado watch. Tornado watch continues here, but I can tell you Mercer County, Warren County, even down towards Henderson County, Knox County, this whole area, it's pretty much Bureau County right now that continues with that concern. But we're continuing to watch that warning. You can see tornado warning south here into Stark and Marshall County, Illinois. We continue with that, but overall things are certainly winding down here. What we'll have to watch here, not so much for our viewing area, but I do think for Putnam County into LaSalle County, is this is trying to curve back around and literally is reorganizing. And so we'll have to watch that area here. I think what we have is maybe down towards southwest of Depew here. We got to watch that because that is a very favorable area, especially with how this storm is evolving. So, but that would put it just outside of our viewing area. So we're going to continue to watch that here. But yeah, right there, kind of on the Bureau County, Putnam County border, we're watching some circulation and again a look to this radar, to this storm that would maybe favor some circulation. So we're continuing to watch that. Otherwise, we continue with the damaging wind potential is certainly there, and also hail, maybe up the size of quarters, but the hail core is pretty small here, just east of Princeton and northwest of the Depew area right now.
All right, yeah, once again, as we take a look at the area as a whole, let's just center this up a little bit. Some special weather statements I see off to our north there in Wisconsin. As far as our severe thunderstorm, or I should say our tornado watch, as Kyle pointed out, it's been cleared from our Iowa side, but the Illinois side still under this till 8 o'clock. But again, these are likely to be clipped county by county really within the next few minutes here. We'll take our coverage up to 7 o'clock, and then we'll get you back to NBC for the time being until there's another warning, and hopefully that's not going to be the case until tomorrow evening. And it's going to be late evening, as we were mentioning. This is going to be a little bit later of an event for tomorrow as we see those storms forming well to our west and then kind of limping on in here with some strength late in the evening and kind of plowing through then as we get into very early Saturday morning. But for now, just a few showers and thunderstorms left. If you have pictures, now that it's safe for most of the area to take pictures of anything in terms of any damage in your location, or if during this storm you might have taken some pictures or video of hail falling at your place, please go to our KWQC TV6 News app or our website, submit those photos. We'd certainly like to put those on the air. It's all part of the story of the severe weather that we've been covering here over the last few hours. Really, it was about 4:15 to 4:25 when things started to heat up, and that's when we got on the air first. So we're coming up on 7 o'clock, which is where I think we'll end our coverage because our official warnings will end for Bureau County at 7 o'clock, except for that one just off to the east and south, but that's not really in our viewing area. So unless something does redevelop in those areas, we'll be getting back on the air, or we'll get you back in NBC if there are more warnings. But again, at this point, I really think that's not going to happen, but that will be the case. I do want to say that that was a nice graphic that you put together there, Kyle, for the path of that tornado. And again, yeah, the Weather Service will certainly be there to keep an an eye on that situation and out to survey it probably first thing tomorrow morning. And we did have reports of some damage from that area as we had that tornado go from northern Clinton County into southern Jackson County, right over Preston, Iowa. So certainly got some reports of not only building damage but tree damage and such for those areas. And again, that's something we'll be following up on with crews on the way, National Weather Service on the way as well. But right now you can see that things are really quieting down. Not sure if you have anything left to add here in our last couple minutes, Kyle?
You know, we're just continuing to watch that. I'd say right now here for you folks out to the east here in Bureau County, it is almost, I think within the next couple minutes, it's going to be into Putnam County and eventually LaSalle County. But I will say just south of Hennepin, southwest of Hennepin, that is an area of circulation that we're continuing to watch. When we mention these circulations, while they're there, we're in an environment that, yeah, was very conducive for circulations. You heard us talking about it quite a bit. But the good thing is this day and age, we've got we've got radar that can help us pick where exactly these circulations are, and so we can look and see again if there's debris getting picked up with them. So right now these circulations are broad, not too much of a concern, but we continue to watch that. So we do have some updates from the newsroom, and I'm going to head over to William Ingalls at the news desk. And William, we've been hearing a lot of reports of damage, especially up into the Preston, Iowa area. What's the latest right now coming out from some of our Iowa counties?
Yeah, Kyle, when we're talking about damage, at least in the Preston area, that is the one spot that I think we are still looking for a few answers on. We have a crew headed there right now as of about 20 minutes ago. So hopefully in the next 30 to 35 minutes, we're going to be getting some answers when it comes to that side of things. I can tell you I've been on the phone with a number of emergency management agencies throughout, especially our Iowa counties. Talked to the Muscatine County Emergency Management Agency a little bit ago. That was an area we saw, especially when it came to that Muscatine County and Johnson County line. Thankfully, we are looking at very minimal damage out there. A couple of buildings are going to be taken care of out there, but that really wraps up the majority of our coverage. Thankfully, most of these storms are out of the area. The one last thing I want to leave you with, no injuries as of this time. We're going to send you back to normal programming. Thanks for watching.